there is under.
Total ACC and Big 12 players, both are at 3.5.
My gut on both of those are over.
In case you're wondering why the SEC and the Big 10 seem to play for a lot of championships. Yeah. 14.5, 9.5 compared to 3.5.
Before we get to...
Which active coach has the most NFL players?
Right now?
Yep.
I mean, Kirby would be my initial guess.
My active coach?
Yep.
Because I was going to say Nick Saban. Kirby would be my initial guess, but I'm going to say...
Kirby's the obvious answer.
The surprising answer is going to be Ryan Day.
Who is the longest tenured coach right now in football?
It was Mac Brown, but he retired. And then it was Nick Saban, and he retired. Or both those guys were longest.
This is the answer to both.
Is Brian Kelly the longest tenure? Nope.
Who is the longest?
This guy's been at one place the entire time.
Kirk Ferentz?
Yep.
He's got the most players in the NFL?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised.
Well, I think they got like 5 tight ends.
I was going to say half the league's tight ends.
Yeah, offensive linemen.
But I still would have guessed Kirby in front of him, even if you had told me, is it Kirk Ferentz? He's been coaching for 25 years, or Kirby, he's been coaching since 2016. I was still going Kirby.
I would have said Kirby has more Eagles than Kirk Ferentz has players in the NFL.
It is a little surprising.
Just because they suck so bad on offense. I mean, like, do they ever put skill players in there that aren't tight ends?
Recent crop of Ferentz players, 41 on current NFL rosters.
Remember they had the great linebacker, right? They got a couple of quarterbacks in the league.
I mean, 41's a lot, right?
That seems to be a large number.
Yeah.
Large number. Hey, Braves, by the way, are streaking right now. They won 4 straight. Spencer Strider back on the IL Monday, playing toss, tweaked a hamstring.
I mean... Well, are you injury prone if you tweak a hamstring playing toss?
Yeah, not even firing off the mound there. No. That is the Braves update. Don't forget our new pennant grace comes your way today at 12:15 live on this platform in just over 30 minutes. Michelson Laser Vision. One more thing before we get to trash today. Tell us about Michelson.
At 205-969-8100, that is the number you need to call. You wear the glasses or contacts, you're wasting money each and every year. I'm speaking from experience. Make that call that I made over 2 decades ago. Ask for Amy. Tell her the next round sent you. She's going to hook you up with a hassle-free consultation. You have 0 to lose to find out if LASIK is right for you. Dr. Mark Michelson, pioneer in the business, first to perform LASIK in the state of Alabama back in 1995. 205-969-8100 or michelsonlaservision.com.
By the way, Kentucky gets Denzel Aberdeen, the Florida guard, is now a member of Kentucky. There's buzz that the guy that averaged 7 points per game got $2 million.
The Aberdeen got $2 million
to go to Kentucky.
Yeah,
that seems heavy.
I saw that Goodman said the Coward kid from Washington State is down to Bama and Duke, but he's keeping his NBA hopes alive too. So it's going to be one of those where you might not know you got him until May.
6'6" guard. Yeah. Goodman likes where Alabama sits with him.
Yep.
But just in case you're wondering, Cooper Flagg announced yesterday he's going to the NBA draft. I thought we already knew that.
He had not announced it officially, but everybody assumed it.
Goodman also says there are a handful of teams that have $10 million NIL. Then there's a handful of teams that got $8 million NIL budgets. And Auburn's on that $8 million NIL budget. If you're wondering why Auburn's been killing it a little bit, not that Steven's not working his butt off, but $8 million is a big deal.
Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. The social media team at Next Round Live is dedicated to giving you daily news conferences and practice video from UAB, Alabama, Auburn, and around college football. Follow and compare to the sites you used to visit. You'll also get the latest highlights and news from the Next Round Daily Show. Turn on the notifications so you don't miss a thing. Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. See more at nextroundlive.com.
Do you need some refreshed college wear to represent your team this year? Shop Roback's Game Day collection that includes both Alabama and Auburn. From quarter zips to hoodies, Roback has it all. Get 20% off on us using code TNR20 at roback.com.
Everything Next Round is on demand now in the podcast section at nextroundlive.com. Call the Next Round now at 205-734-0923. Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
It's a Wednesday. We're live. We've got so much to talk about. Some of it is just business. We got to talk about a little spin in the NIL world. But at some point, I'll read you. Stuart Mandel answered a mailbag question about, is this NIL stuff going to kill college athletics? And he sort of takes us back through time of everything from 1929 that was going to kill college athletics,
like the forward pass.
The coal expense on the train.
So I will go through that. Stuart Mandel wrote it really well for us not to overreact and think that college athletics is going to die during all this. Though there are some days I wake up and I think to myself, man, college athletics is not gonna survive this.
What are we even doing?
What are we even doing anymore? And I will just start off. We'll get to Chad Baker-Mazara in a second. But the basketball portal, I'm right about that. That was the one that closed last night.
It closed yesterday, unless your coach leaves. If your coach leaves, as you learned as an Alabama fan when Nick Saban retired, if your coach leaves or retires, takes an NBA job, retires, whatever, a 30-day window opens where
I don't know why all of a sudden you're vomiting the rule book here. I just asked, did it close last night?
Well, I need to be thorough, if you don't mind, Jim. If a coach leaves or retires, a 30-day window opens where you can't shop, but anybody can shop you.
Do you have a glossary? Can we flip to the end there? It closed last night.
It's going to be one of those days.
I mean, it's very early, Lance. We're a minute 53 in.
If you got the paperwork in before midnight, right? Your name may pop up today, but you had to have your paperwork in before midnight last night. Give me a percentage, if you know the answer, of all the college basketball players in America. How many of them hit the portal?
I mean, any number sounds absurd that I want to say, but it's probably an absurd number.
Now, all of that. Now, there are a lot of people went to the portal. But there are a lot of basketball teams. Of all the basketball teams that went into that, I think, what is it?
Well, I think it was 2,200 for football. Am I right?
So of every basketball team that played, which I think is 300.
Yeah, it's 300 and something.
Yeah. I am going to say an average of, this is crazy, 5 per roster. I'll go 1,500.
Give me a percentage number, though.
40%.
I thought I was going to say 28%, and that felt high, and Lance went 40.
There's still room to go up. He's so close, though.
It's amazing.
Between 44 and 45% of every Division I basketball player went into the portal.
Yeah, so what, 6? Is that about right?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
45% is the number they think it's going to settle at when a couple of these others trickle in. 45% of basketball players went into the portal during this cycle.
You know, this is, again, why you're never going to have the every 3 years you might have a team that makes an Elite Eight run. I'm talking about mid-majors.
Like a Butler. I mean, Butler's always the example.
Butler was a team that, a program that you keep guys 4 or 5 years there. And it's just impossible now. If you have a Gordon Hayward or a Shelvin Mack, they're gone.
Yeah, but just think of, the fact that you had Mark Sears for 3 and Grant Nelson for 2, that you had those Auburn guys together long enough that you felt like you had a relationship with that team, A little bit at Alabama, a little bit more at Auburn because it felt like Janai had been there a little bit longer. The fact that you were able as a fan, as a season ticket holder, to have a relationship with those teams, and it gets even worse in football because you don't play 33 games. You know what I mean? You only play 12.
Yeah.
Well, and you think about, again, back to the mid-majors, how unfortunate it is because – the 4 best players in the SEC over the last 2 years, you'll give me Mark Sears, Janai Broome, Walter Clayton Jr., and Dalton Knecht.
Ohio, Morehead State, Iona, and Clayton was Iona, and
Knecht was
Colorado College
of Mines or somewhere like that. It was some random college.
But, I mean,
Colorado Tech.
Yeah, so, I mean, it was a random college.
Great players that – they never would have seen this.
Yeah.
But I mean, to Lance's point about the mid-major, do you guys know who the top-rated portal transfer is right now, I think?
That's still out there?
No. The top-rated one that has transferred. Unless I saw this incorrectly. Let me double-check my work.
I know Jaxson was like number 2 or 3.
Okay,
right?
I saw him as still number 1.
Okay.
But let's top 2 or 3. I know, for what I believe to be a fact, what Andy's NIL budget is for his team down at UAB. Okay, I would dare say Jax at Michigan will make 4 or 5 times that, if not more.
Well, I was going to ask you
the whole budget.
Of the whole budget.
So do you think one starting offensive lineman in the SEC gets more money than the whole budget for UAB's basketball?
Oh, yeah, if he's good enough, yeah. If it's a good left tackle, absolutely. Yeah. But Jax stayed one more year than he probably – he could have had this same amount of money last year, and he stayed one more year. Do you know how increasingly uncommon that is going to become, to your point there?
I'm going to say 1 and 2. Every other player hits the portal.
Yeah.
So 45%, that's if LT and I are on the same team, chances are good one of us are hitting the portal.
That's right. And Jax could have done it last year. He stayed one more year out of loyalty to Andy and UAB. But, at some point, the money is just too much. He's probably making somewhere around 10 times at Michigan what he was making at UAB.
Well, and the reality is, his goal is to play at the next level, and he wants to play against some of the best, and no, disrespect to UAB in that program, but week in, week out, if you're grinding in the Big 10, the Big 12, or the SEC, it's different.
Yeah.
So that gets us to Chad Baker-Mazara. And listen, I have no personal ties to Chad Baker-Mazara. He's been fun for me to cover. Thought he'd be back at Auburn. He may still end up back at Auburn. I don't know how all that works. But I know he's in a tangled web of the NIL right now. He's out there. He hasn't found a home yet. There's been talk of Arkansas at one point, but Arkansas folks that cover him say no. Kentucky, Ole Miss, Providence. Could he go back to Auburn? But Jeff Goodman last night on the field of 68 sort of opened the door if you were wondering why Chad Baker-Mazara would go to the transfer portal and rub a lot of people the wrong way. Jeff Goodman sort of put some numbers to the madness of why Chad Baker isn't right now at Auburn and he's shopping.
So Chad Baker-Mazara signed a deal to remain at Auburn, 6 weeks ago or so. I think it was in February. And the deal was worth I think it was around $1 million. Okay, around $1 million. And again, my sources say that Chad then found out, and he was hurt, that Keyshawn Hall signed a deal with Auburn after the season for double the money, somewhere in the 2-ish, 2.2, 2.3, 2.4 range, somewhere there. And he was hurt because, he helped lead Auburn to a Final Four.
So those are the numbers.
I would be upset if I was Chad Baker-Mazara too. If you got a guy coming in from Central Florida that's going to make double what you're going to make, and you feel like you're the alpha coming back, and I know there's going to be the other side of the coin that is the guy is emotional to a fault. I don't know if he's the kind of leader you want. I don't know.
Here's what I would say, though, and I don't know who his representation is or if he has representation. I assume he does. I don't know who it is.
Nico's old man.
Nico's old man might be the guy. But I would say that this is a great lesson for him on how the world works, is when Auburn came to him wanting to negotiate a deal in February, what would that have told you if you are Chad Baker-Mazara's representation?
Why are we not waiting until after the year to do this?
Well, and it would tell you that Auburn was pretty desperate to make sure they got some bodies that are left when this year is over, right? Because you can look at the roster, and we did it many times, and start counting the guys that aren't going to be there next year, right? Janai Broom, Miles Kelly, unless something changes, Chaney Johnson.
Well, if Pettiford leaves.
Maybe Pettiford.
Yeah, look, you're going to have it doesn't even matter if he stays or goes. If he stays, he's going to be a starter, but he wasn't a starter last year. You're going to be replacing all 5 of your starters this year.
Yeah,
and they've done that already.
Right,
Before we get into this, they have done a wonderful job replacing the talent.
Yeah, a lot of teams have to do that now.
But they didn't know that in February.
No.
That's why they're coming to you in February, because Bruce Pearl is also looking at this roster knowing I don't have any bodies left after this year, especially if I lose Chad. Now, I'm going to go get some in the portal, but I do know this guy, and he has done a lot for my program. So I would just say if you were Chad Baker-Mazara or his representation, at that point you had all the leverage. If 1.1 million or 1.2 million or 1.3 million is all you got, you either did a poor job representing him, or that's all you were ever going to get. You maximized your deal. Now, apparently, and Jeff goes on to talk about this, there is a buyout in that deal where Chad Baker-Mazara can leave and only owe Auburn, I think it was $650,000.
Yeah.
Which is insane.
We're saying now only owe
$650,000. So, you can exercise that part of the agreement, which tells me he did have an attorney involved.
Right. Because there's an agreement.
Agent. Yeah, because there's an agreement like that. I'm just saying you had every opportunity to maximize your deal, and you either did it or you fell short. I mean, it's hard for me, like if I've got all the leverage and I think I've used all the leverage and then I realize you didn't really use all your leverage, that's kind of on me, not on Auburn.
Yeah, but I do think that this is, pretty evident. Auburn didn't really want him.
See, I disagree with that. But that
I don't think they wanted him at $2 million a year.
No,
though.
they wanted him at a price.
Yeah, they wanted Hall at $2 million a year for sure.
It's like any NFL player. I would really love you back to be our wide receiver. We'll use T. Higgins as an example. We'll take T. Higgins back, but he's got to be back at this. I can't pay him what I'm paying Jamar Chase.
Again, this is how the world works.
I need Jamar Chase back.
That's right.
If I've got to choose between the two within my budget, I'm sorry, T, but we want you at this. You know what I'm saying? Chad Baker, we want you at this.
But he would seem important enough that he would be the highest paid player on this roster. The only thing I would say, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong, last year you had some experienced guys like Broom and Kelly and Jones. You had guys that had a lot of experience that maybe could keep him in check. If Chad Baker comes back, he believes he is the unquestioned leader of this team.
Yes.
And is there a possibility the Pearls and other staff members were like, I don't know if I want this guy to be the unquestioned leader.
Yeah, but you would like to think the way the world works is if I am on the team and I am dedicated to the team, I get the maximum deal, but it's just not the way the world works.
Well, it is,
and that's what you're saying about Chad Baker-Mazara, and I get what you're saying, but it's just not the way it works in the real world. Unfortunately, you would like to think that's the way corporations and teams would operate is this guy is on our team. He's been a critical part to a Final Four team. He's not planning on going anywhere. He wants to stay, so let's make sure he's our highest paid guy. It's unfortunate. Like, I'll use us as an example. By many metrics, we were one of the most successful radio shows that Cumulus Media had, right? I'm not trying to pat us on the back. It's just the truth. Maybe I am trying to pat us on the back, but it's the truth either way. When did we get our biggest contract with them?
When we had chances to leave.
Right. When we had a chance to leave and they believed it, right? That was when they were like, no, we don't want you to leave. And we're like, well, we've been here for a decade now. You could have given us this deal anytime and we wouldn't be looking.
And that's my point. That's what I wanted to say here is that they came to us first and the offer was really, they wanted to keep us. They came to us first and the offer was really different. In February, in fairness to the Auburn coaching staff, the NIL world and the budget to run a top-tier basketball program looked different last year, the budget they were working on, probably the offer you got in February. And if you're representing Chad Baker-Mazara, if you're getting maybe a tad bit more money than Jedi was making at the time, you think to yourself, well, wow, next year they're going to be paying me more than Jedi is making. But what has happened? Now the budget has doubled in this offseason for your NIL, and it's costing you to get Keyshawn from UCF. It's costing you twice the money it cost you to have Jedi Broom on your roster last year.
And that's what's crazy. And like
inflation goes up.
Yeah, I get that, but where does this thing top out? Like Keyshawn Hall might be worth $2.2 million. But next year, you're going to have a sight unseen guy coming in from the American that's getting $4 million.
But the reason they're paying Keyshawn Hall more than they were paying Broom is because Broom, after his junior year, didn't say, you know what, I think I'd like to go to Duke. If he had said that, he would be making $2 million. And maybe he was, I don't know, but he would have maximized. Some people don't have the stomach for that. Some people don't want to say, you know what, I'll just leave.
Yeah.
If I'm not getting this, I'll just leave. And then it gets, you get some uncomfortable relationships and conversations when that happens.
Now we're using just Chad Baker-Mazara because of what Goodman said on the field of 68 last night. Just as an example, this goes on with a number of players on every basketball and football roster, and probably baseball and softball, all these others, but at the highest profile, every college football and basketball roster at every major program right now in college athletics. This is the discussion that goes on with a general manager, a head coach, an assistant coach, or coordinator at any major football or basketball program in America today. We're just using Chad Baker-Mazara because it is top of a point here, Field of 68. But this isn't exclusive to him or to Auburn basketball in this situation. It goes on everywhere. And the fact of the matter is that the budget's doubled in a year, likely because of this ruling coming down that could have a salary cap in the future. But the budget's doubled in a year. And that's why the pricing has gotten out of whack. So the question first comes, now what do the schools do? Well, one more from the Field of 68. If you give me cut number 8, this is Rob Douster, who is co-hosting with Jeff Goodman there. And he says a phrase. Now, this is going to get us later to the death of college athletics. But he says a phrase here that I think Auburn fans would be okay with, but will the Auburn coaches and Auburn administration be okay with this if Chad Baker-Mazara ends up wearing a different uniform next year? Here's Rob.
I'm on board. Like, if Auburn's going to sue him, I'm on board with that. You sign a contract that has that as the buyout, and then you still put your name in the portal. Like, that's – if this is going to be professional basketball, and we're going to be dealing with millions.
Yeah, you signed it.
We're going to be dealing with millions and millions of dollars, and you sign something, a legal document, and then you can't back out of that. That's not how it works. This is the real world now. This is professional sports. You signed a contract with this is the buyout, and now you want to go in the portal, and that's what the buyout is. You got to pay for it. I don't feel bad for him at all. Like, you are professionals. You're 25, 26 years old. Like, he can't be sitting here pretending like he got the wool pulled over his eyes. No, he's got to pay that back if he goes in the portal. He does, and I firmly believe it.
So this is the first example I can remember.
Yeah,
of
I'm with you. I don't remember one getting this public, Lance, if it existed.
Yeah, and now the problem is this has been opened up. And so if you're any school out there negotiating, why would you not want this on your side?
I think you've got to now. I mean, now that you've seen the way this has played out, the Amalieva family.
That was very close to
Amalieva family has played out in both Knoxville and Fayetteville.
Well, that gets us to Hunter Yurachek, the Arkansas athletic director, who posted this last night. I have spoken with the leadership team at Arkansas Edge, that's their NIL entity, and expressed my support in their pursuit to enforce their rights under any agreement violated by our student athletes moving forward. And that's Madden Amalieva, Nico's brother, who left to go to UCLA. So there's an SEC AD publicly saying what the guys on Field of 68 have said. If Auburn chooses to do this, they signed the document. You have our blessing to go chase it down and get your cash back. Why do you think some schools will not do that, and do you think more schools will do that?
I think it's going to work both ways. If you really don't want the guy and you want out of your deal, right? You let him walk.
Yeah, I mean, there would have to. You're saying a two-way buyout, basically. Yeah.
But is there
an underperformance buyout?
Is there a fear that if you become that, we're going to hold you to the letter of the law of this contract school, that will hurt you in signing future athletes?
Yeah, I mean, because if I'm a stud player and I can go to UNLV, who's a good, let's assume they're a good program in football or basketball, and they're like, hey, our NIL deals, man, if you leave, you owe us nothing. I'm going to consider that one, Lance.
And if this becomes a landmark case where Baker-Mazara is paying back, what, $650,000?
Yeah, and I want to talk about
60%, I think, is the wording I've heard, and I think Goodman says that it's 60%. So whatever the deal is, 60% of the deal.
So, but is that a pre-tax 60% or a post-tax? Because do that math real quick.
It's got to be pre-tax.
Okay, so do that math real quick. So if it's $1 million deal, what do you think his total tax liability on that is? State of Alabama and federal, 30%?
Yeah, 30.
All right, do that math. $700,000.
Yep.
It's only $150,000, $100,000 to $150,000 difference there. Maybe. I mean, somewhere in that neighborhood.
Your point is, tell me how much am I going to have to get somewhere else for this to financially even make it a raise for me?
Right, and I mean, that's going to be hard for him because
it's going to have to be around 2.4, 2.5 million.
I unfortunately don't think these kids are looking at the second step back to Nico.
But the problem isn't the kids. It's these fly-by-night agents in some places. Not all of them are fly-by-night. That was unfair of me. Some of these representatives who are looking out for themselves.
No, but now do that math. Let's say that agent's on a 10% take, which is low compared to some of the ones we've heard. There's another $100,000. All of a sudden, Chad Baker-Mazara is in the hole on this deal.
That's
if he doesn't find something that's a good deal.
All of a sudden, he's renting to own that.
That is right.
That bedroom furniture.
And I mean, do you guys, like, y'all thought more of Chad Baker-Mazara than me when we discussed this the other day? I can't remember if it was the day you were here or not. Y'all were higher on him than I was.
No, he is a excellent basketball player.
Yeah, I think he's a really good basketball player. You got to put up with the other bullshit that comes with him.
Okay, but even if you didn't, is he a $2 million player for you?
Well, in last year, no. But in this budget where I'm spending $10 million, he's going to be a starter. So if I'm spending a $10 million budget, which is the top tier in basketball right now, $10 to $14 million, then he's a starter for me. He's a $2 million guy.
Yeah, I mean, you're paying Keyshawn 2.5 to come in, and
2.2-ish.
Yeah, and look, he was really good at Central Florida, but is that going to translate to him being that good at Auburn?
I mean, that's what you don't know. I mean, again, if I'm throwing out millions, plural, it's going to start with Pettiford, and I'll get to CBM if I do.
Yeah, but here's the deal: Auburn doesn't need him anymore. You see what I'm saying? Because
it impacts your value.
Yeah, exactly. If they signed you to a deal that was fair at the time, you thought you signed it, and you've hit the portal. So the butter continues to be churned.
Yeah.
And Auburn continues to be one of the more successful teams reloading their roster, pulling in guys like Keyshawn Hall and the other players that they've pulled in here. And if Pettiford comes back,
well, and that's
then all of a sudden they're set. Their stock is rising right now without you, and so your leverage has gone down a little bit. But I don't know where he ends up. I'm just saying Auburn is fine without him, and a lot of people think he may have overplayed his hand here.
It might bruise the ego, but don't you think there's some back conversations? Look, Pettiford, if he comes back, like, he is our focus, and we're going to give him the most money. But if he doesn't, we're going to give you a percentage of the money we were going to give him.
Yeah, but you may not know that till May.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing, and I've said this many times, and we're there now, and it's going to be difficult for some to digest. I get it. But this all gets cleared up if players are just employees that are under contract with obvious buyouts, and the buyout is paid by the team that ends up with him. That would slow a whole lot of this down. So if Chad Baker-Mazara wants to transfer to Kentucky, and Kentucky says, okay, we'll pay the $650,000, guess where Chad Baker-Mazara plays? He plays at Kentucky. Auburn gets the $650,000. They don't have to go to court for it. It is in black and white contracts. And a lot of this is cleaned up.
By the way, is Kentucky in the mix right now?
According to Goodman.
Kentucky and Ole Miss is in the mix. More on that later on when we look at the biggest budgets in college basketball and try to figure out who's the biggest budgets in college football. The show today being brought to you by a few of our great sponsors. One of them is our friends with the Birmingham Stallions, who get back at it here soon after another win. They lose their opener. They've won 3 straight.
They have. I watched the end of the game the other night. They're playing some tremendous defense, and you could go pack protective for the Birmingham Stallions. Don't forget fireworks at the end of the game as well.
It's rodeo night this time, I think.
It is rodeo night. We're going to have a rodeo?
Yeah, well, Stallions, wear your cowboy rodeo gear. Let's go.
You see everything and get tickets, UFLstallions.com. Pack protective with the Birmingham Stallions, UFLstallions.com.
And our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama, guys, keeping you healthy as you age from your 20s to your 30s and so on in life. Urology Centers of Alabama, 205-930-0920. 205-930-0920, UrologyCentersAlabama.com. Prostate health to kidney stones, vasectomies, everything in between. Urology Centers, Alabama.com. Those 16 locations, 35 urologists standing by to help you at UrologyCentersAlabama.com. And our friends at Hemphill that bring you Lance'sLock.com. 3 NBA games last night.
I only played one. Lost it. Had the Grizz. Had the Grizz cut it to single digits late in the third. I thought they were going to be able to get there, and then it completely falls apart. They are getting dominated.
John Morant said they would not play as bad as they did the other night.
Well, they didn't.
It was true.
Yeah, they did lose by 51.
They're down 0-2. They've been outscored by 70 points.
Yeah, so, 35 points per game. And the crazy thing is SGA, who's going to be your MVP, is shooting 32% from the field for Oklahoma City.
Wow.
And they're still dominating these games. We will have more winners up for you tonight, lanceslock.com. Free play every single day. $100 gets you absolutely everything, including first-round props for the NFL Draft tomorrow night. Jump on and win with us at lanceslock.com. Always brought to you by our friends at Hemp Hill Services. Whether you experience plumbing, heating, or cooling issues in your home or business, they are ready to serve you. 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090. Hard to stop a train. For more information, hemphillservices.com.
Luka really good last night. Had a triple-double. Lakers win 94-85. Even that series up. LeBron James 21-11. The Pacers beating the Bucks. The 2-0 lead for the Pacers now. Halliburton, love his military equipment. 21 points, 12 assists. Triple header again tonight. Orlando, Boston, Miami, Cleveland, Golden State, and Houston rolling on in the NBA playoffs. LancesLock.com if you want to play there. We'll talk to Dan Orlovsky. He'll join us at 10 Central-ish, depending on flights and things like that. We'll talk about the NFL Draft, which is tomorrow night. That's coming up. College football playoffs in the next segment. Some changes there happening to scheduling. We'll talk about how long that calendar is and one AD that would like a change. Before we end the opening segment here, though, Mike Patrick, longtime announcer, passed away over the weekend at the age of 80 years old. Most famous to our audience and to us for?
What's Brittany doing with her life?
I was hoping when I was reading the article on him this
Brittany
morning
who?
that they weren't going to include that.
Yeah.
Oh, it was actually,
I think it's what most people know him for, unfortunately. He had a really good career, but I think he's
I didn't
most known for
realize
that.
his last broadcast was the Liberty Bowl in 2017.
Oh, that's a tough way to go out.
I mean, but that's 8 years ago. It
Yeah.
seems like he's done something sooner than 8 years ago.
Yeah.
it's been a while.
Iconic Saturday night, though, right?
Oh, yeah. He was one of the voices. He replaced Ron Franklin, I believe. I think it went Ron Franklin and Mike Patrick on that ESPN Saturday night game.
I think so, too. And
he was paired with Todd Blackledge, which was a really good crew.
He and Todd Blackledge, who was in the booth.
Yep.
Brittany who. That was 2007, by the way.
Saban's first year.
Yeah, Alabama, Georgia. And so that was a long time ago. So he was still calling big games there. He did the NFL Sunday night game,
Which I really liked. It was Heath Eisman and Paul McGuire.
Yep.
And that was a really good booth. I enjoyed that booth. Very entertaining.
1987 to 2005. He did the NFL on ESPN.
I was telling Jim, Lance, I don't know if you had that. I always remember you saying the worst part of your weekend was on the NFL weekend. The worst part of your weekend was when you saw the 60 minutes clock start ticking.
No, it was always for me as a kid when Pat Summerall would say, 60 Minutes is next, and then Murder, She Wrote.
Yeah.
But back that long ago, you didn't have Sunday Night Football.
Yeah, that did not start until Dunaway informed me before the show, 87.
87.
So in 1987, I was 11. I can remember many Sunday nights watching the end of that Sunday night game, and I'm like, well, the next thing for me is school.
Yeah.
Sunday Night Football is over. You got a Monday night game, and those were, and as Jim pointed out, that was before they started putting a really good game on Sunday night. It was normally a bad game. You got like a lot of 4-8 Saints versus 3-9 Lions.
I remember one of the greatest comebacks I've ever seen, and I was watching this at ex-wife, then girlfriend Bethany's house, and it was like on the screen was probably smaller than our monitors here on the laptops.
Yeah.
But the Rams were down. They were playing in the old sombrero against Trent Dilfer in the Bucs. So I think the year was 94 or 95, but they were down 28-0 at half, came back, won 31-28.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it was Mike Patrick?
Yeah, it was Mike Patrick, yeah.
Wow.
That joke, the Brittany joke, I know what he was doing there, but boy, just time, place, and audience. That thing just bombed.
Well, he was doing it because it was so intense.
That's right.
And it was such a big moment, and he was trying to throw a little levity in the tension of an SEC Saturday night.
And Todd Blackledge did not get it.
Brittany who?
Is she here?
Yeah.
That's what he says.
80 years old. I saw him at the College World Series. He would do that in Omaha many years at a casino right across the river in somewhere city in Iowa is where the casinos were. So you had to go across the bridge, and he was at a blackjack table. It was wee hours of the morning. I was with the late, great Cecil Hurt and David Crane and I. And he was there smoking a heater and drinking a bourbon, playing blackjack by himself. So it must have been
You've seen a lot of people on tables.
Yeah.
I mean, hadn't he?
Yeah.
It must have been a higher stake table because there was nobody sitting with him.
Didn't he have his tie loosened? Did he say tie loosened?
It had come straight from the ballpark.
Yep.
Tie loosened, smoking a heater.
Glass of bourbon.
Playing blackjack, just him and the dealer. And looked like he was having the time of his life. I don't have a crisp $100 bill like Reese does on College Game Day.
Uh-oh, here we go.
But could you tell me the first professional team he was the play-by-play voice for?
Mike Patrick?
Yep.
I am going to randomly
this
say.
Will be the radio. I was not on TV. I'll give you a help.
Radio
play-by-play voice. It was professional sports, and it was in the town where he was the local TV sportscaster.
I'm going to randomly say St. Louis Blues.
I am going to randomly say the Hartford Whalers.
Oh, both great guesses. Not hockey. It was professional football.
I like that we both went hockey.
But it was the World Football League. He was the play-by-play voice of the Jacksonville Sharks in the mid-'70s. That would have put him 1974 somewhere.
Damn, that got you an ESPN gig.
Yeah,
they were new then.
That was the league that the Birmingham Americans and Vulcans were in the 1970s. A little part of his bio there. Yeah, Jacksonville Sharks. He was the play-by-play voice, and he was a local TV sportscaster. They're Jeff Spiegel, if you will, of Jacksonville, Florida.
They should have kept the Sharks instead of the Jags.
I agree. I'd go back to the Jacksonville Sharks.
And that is the most, as far as percentage of shark bites in the world, is New Smyrna Beach, right off of it.
Yeah, between Jacksonville and Daytona, right?
Make it the Sharks. Embrace it.
Yeah, embrace it. All right, Mike Patrick, part of our college football past.
By the way, I've never seen Field of 68. I've heard of it. We've talked about it. Is the production always that good? Quality?
Well, Goodman had some rough internet issues there.
Yeah, they do it. It's sort of like the basketball show with Taylor and I. We just
do it when you can,
man. But he went back to the old TTO dirty windshield
game.
Wherever we can, wherever we have to do it, we do it. And if the internet connection's there, it's there. But we fight through it.
That's right. You just fight through it, man.
Yeah, we always say
we've done it.
Our basketball show is they're the Field of 68. We're probably the Field of 8.
We're the NIT.
We may be the NIT, but we try to do it. All right, when we come back, college football, some changes going on there. Our show being brought to you today by our man Alexander Shunnarah, trial attorneys Browning.
Yeah, Shunnarah is our guy, man, and I'll tell you what he wanted to do. He wanted to take care of his community in a way that many have not, to create a local law firm that could handle any issues community faced. So not only do they handle personal injury claims, but claims for fire and storm damage, bad drug and device claims, disability, workers' compensation, and a host of other claims. When you find yourself in need of a lawyer, call the Alexander Shunnarah Trial Attorneys. You pay nothing unless they win your case. Shunnarah.com. That is Shunnarah.com.
And our friends at New Life Art, all the great moments that we've been talking about. I don't know if no, because Matthew Stafford ruined that night.
That's
we were
right.
talking about when Mike Patrick dropped one out of the chimney in overtime for a Georgia win. But the great Alabama moments in years past, painted by Daniel A. Moore. You can get those with our friends at New Life Art. DanielMooreArt.com is the website. DanielMooreArt.com, promo code TNR there. All the great works. Just go to the website and take a look at some of the work you can get. What a great gift idea for somebody's birthday if they're a big Bama fan. Some other works there, some basketball, some Auburn football, the reverse from Lawyer Tillman, and, of course, the legend, Nick Saban, 6 national championships. DanielMooreArt.com. DanielMooreArt.com, promo code TNR. Back in a moment with some college football conversation.
Everything Next Round is on demand now in the podcast section at nextroundlive.com.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
Your representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
The biggest and baddest track in NASCAR is Talladega Super Speedway, and it's ready to put on another amazing show in April. If you've never been to the Talladega Super Speedway, you have to check it out. This beast is 2.5 miles of nothing but pure speed and incredible action at every single turn. Don't miss the Jack Links 500 NASCAR weekend at Talladega Super Speedway, April 25th through 27th. Get your tickets now at TalladegaSuperspeedway.com. Don't miss the action. TalladegaSuperspeedway.com.
No matter the occasion, the Next Round store has you covered with whatever you need. Head over to nextround.store and start filling your cart up now. When you wear your gear, make sure to let us know by posting on socials, and you might just end up seeing yourself during a commercial break. Go browse now at nextround.store and place your order before the break ends.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service.
Start your day online with our website, nextroundlive.com, for the latest videos, podcasts, and college football stories. It's also a great way to stream the show or shop in the Next Round store. Stay connected by visiting nextroundlive.com.
It's time to pull the trigger on the Next Round merch that you've been eyeing. We know there's a lot to choose from at nextround.store, so here's a few of our favorite picks. If you want to match LT and Brown, go with a TNR logo hoodie and throw in one of Dunaway's favorite hats. Any of them will do. The Backroom's go-to is the classic logo t-shirt, while my personal favorite is the light blue TNR crew neck. All of these items can be found at nextround.store and are EG approved. Rest assured, your order will be packed with lots of love from us here at the Next Round. Head over to nextround.store to start filling up your cart.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between 2 warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
Hey friends, if you're looking to expand your business and inform the Next Round audience about your exciting brand, contact us at sales@nextroundlive.com to be part of the team and advertise your product to hundreds of thousands of potential consumers on our ever-expanding platform. Let the Next Round help take your business to the next level. Get more information by emailing us at sales@nextroundlive.com, and one of our team members will work with you to build a plan to take your business to the next level with the Next Round.
The road to the Indy 500 runs through Birmingham, May 2nd through the 4th. The fastest IndyCar drivers in the world, O'Ward, Dixon, and Newgarden, will put their skills to the test with one goal in mind: victory. Witness Miss America Abby Stockard give the most iconic command in all of racing as the Grand Marshal. May starts here. The Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix, powered by AmFirst. Tickets are selling fast. Get yours today.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Okay, one programming note, Dan Orlovsky will be a little later than 10. Plane flight's running a little late. Can't wait to talk to him about the NFL draft as he's on his way to Green Bay for part of the coverage coming up tomorrow night, where Cam Ward will go first. And then after that, it's anybody's guess, we expect a lot of chaos, maybe the most chaotic first round in the history of the National Football League. More on that later in the show. That is being brought to you today in part by our wonderful friends at NASCAR. You just heard Brownie in the commercial break, if you caught the audio or the video platform there of that commercial break, talking about NASCAR.
It is coming back to the Talladega Superspeedway. Jack Link's 500 weekend at Talladega is coming up this weekend. You can see the intensity of Talladega, the speed at every turn, the biggest, baddest track in all of NASCAR, and it is yours at the Talladega Superspeedway this weekend. Jack Link's 500 weekend. You can reserve your spot now, TalladegaSuperspeedway.com. That is TalladegaSuperspeedway.com.
Okay, now you're good at math. See, 60 minutes in an hour. I lose it after that. How many seconds in an hour? Do you know this off the top of your head?
360.
360. It's only 1 hour, but God, we made a big deal about it yesterday. The Rose Bowl. The Rose Bowl. God bless them. God bless the Rose Bowl. They moved their kick time.
It would be 3,600.
3,600, yeah.
3,600 seconds. They moved their kick time up. 3,600 seconds. 60 minutes. 1 hour.
We are speeding the game up.
From 4 o'clock Central to 3 o'clock Central. The sun will still set that day, I'm told, but it'll be just in the fourth quarter now, not at halftime.
They budged.
Yeah. I know. I was about to say you are making light of this.
Yeah, I mean, that is the first time we've seen movement at all.
It's the first time they have ever, well, I guess really the second time. The first time
was allowing a college football playoff.
Was allowing something that wasn't Big Ten, Pac-12 in their stadium.
Yep. CEO David Eads, it's the right role for us to play now, is his quote. In other words, let me. I mean, I'm sure David is a member of a country club somewhere. Let a little trailer park Jim read between the lines here. Quote, right role for us to play now, end quote. In other words, somebody told these guys, your leverage is slipping, my friend. And if you want to be a part of the party, we're moving these times around. And if y'all want to still be a part of the college football playoffs, and we want you to be, we need you to slide an hour. We want the premium kick times. We want to go 11 a.m. Central, 3 p.m., 6:30, or 7 o'clock. However we do this, 7 o'clock is the story. So 11, 3, and 7, 4 hours apart. And we're gonna make this permanent. It's not a one-year thing. You're not agreeing to this 1 year. It's going to be permanent. They've agreed to it, and those are going to be the kick times now: 11, 3, and 7 Central, 12, 4, and 8 Eastern.
The Daniel says in the chat room, that quote alone drips with the narcissism.
Oh, yes. It's the right role for us to play now.
Yeah, really. Yeah. I mean, Lance, we talked about leverage in the first segment with Chad Baker-Mazara. The college football playoff has all the leverage here because there are a couple things the Rose Bowl has to look at. Number one, the Pac-12 no longer exists. So if I will never have my Big Ten Pac-12 matchup again, ever. That has died. That's number one. Number two, if I am not part of the college football playoff, the very best Big Ten team I'm going to get once they expand this thing to 16
is
probably the fifth best. Yeah, and that's going to be against some non-Pac-12 team. My bowl will lose its relevance.
It will.
I mean, that's why they've really got to play the game now, don't they?
Yeah, and they're probably going to have to give up more than an hour.
I would agree. I mean, there's going to be a day where they're going to have to discuss moving off January 1.
I mean, this would be the equivalent of Mississippi State playing Tulane in the Sugar Bowl.
Yeah.
I to show you how far down the list some of these bowl games were for a brief moment before they were part of the playoffs, I had to think for a second, did Mississippi State play Tulane in the Sugar Bowl?
But, I mean, they'll eventually have to move off January 1. This is just this shows the first crack in the foundation of the Rose Bowl realizing we're not what we used to be. We used to be the granddaddy of them all.
I think they'll be able to keep that January 1 slot right in the middle of two other games that'll rotate around, but it is a big move by them in their eyes, not a ton in our eyes, but it helps fix that calendar a little bit. That was, Enforcers already showed you the graphic. The announcement yesterday of the schedule, this gets us to a little bit more of what we're talking about. That January 1st, 11 a.m., 3 p.m., 7 p.m., Orange, Rose, and Sugar, permanent fixture there. That Friday night game is the 6:30 Cotton Bowl, then the night before the January 1, the December 31st. So those are the four quarterfinal games. The semifinals, 6:30 on ESPN, the Fiesta on January 8th, the Peach on January 9th. And then that gets us to the national championship game of college football on January the 19th in Miami.
Is that the latest ever?
Is January the 19th
it's got to be
the latest ever? And is that too deep into the calendar for us to be playing college football, in your opinion?
Well, I would hope not, because it's probably going to get deeper when you got a 16-team playoff.
I mean, look, when you're still in the window of the NFL, I mean, we're still in football mode, right?
Yeah.
We're going until February.
But there are some people like Dan Lanning who would love to see the calendar condense, close that gap between, take away all the dead time.
Yeah.
And try to move the end date up to January 1. But see, here's what's not going to happen. The Rose Bowl likes being on January 1. College football likes having 3 playoff games on January 1. And to have 3 playoff games on January 1, if you're a bracketologist out there, you know you got to have at least, you got to be quarterfinals at that point. To have 3 on one day that are playoff games, 1 on the other day, on the night before, on the 31st. So you're always going to be playing your quarterfinals right there. No matter how much you want to condense the other part, you're going to always be playing your quarterfinals right there on January 1st.
But to Lanning's point, though, if there were no buys and everybody started at the same time.
And we could all start on week 0.
Yeah, if you want to do that. But if there were no buys, everybody starting the playoffs. His complaint was, we had all this time off and Ohio State played a game.
Right.
Well, that won't be the case if we don't have buys.
Yeah, if we go to 16, then we all play a first-round game, a second-round game.
Everybody's got the same amount of time off within a day. Some are going to play Friday, some are going to play Saturday or whatever. But within a day, everybody's got the same amount of time off.
Yeah. It will be, if you go to 16 Everybody will play that mid-December game, and then you're down to 8 for the New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. And then we'll always carry to about mid-January for college football, and we're okay with that.
Yeah.
I got no problem.
Oh, I think we're going to figure it out, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if it goes another week deeper in January, used to, the complaint was we've got to get it done before the next semester starts, which I've never understood then, and it's certainly irrelevant now.
Well, and the NFL is going to go, I mean, they've already gone a week deeper. They're going to go another week deeper because it's about to align with President's Day.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to add that 18th game,
yeah,
which is going to push them even further back.
So that's the schedule in place for this upcoming year and permanent kick times. It says the fine folks at the college football playoffs for the 3 games on New Year's Day, 11, 3, and 7, premium broadcast window in the Central Time Zone. I like them, traditional college football windows, and that's a good move. One more thing from another athletic director. Right after we tell you about Odie's tonight, we kick off another trivia night, right?
It is Wednesday, which means Odie's Team Trivia. We do it every Wednesday night, the original location in Crestline. Me, Brown, Will Haver, stop in, get there early. We're going to go about 8 o'clock until around 10 o'clock. It's typically the normal time, but you can get there early, enjoy some of the great food from Rodney Davis, award-winning wings, delicious burgers, great sandwiches, ice-cold beer buckets full of the Bud Light, and, of course, the Odie's famous cup cocktails. Stop in tonight. Come see us. 2 locations, Crestline and Edgewood. It's Odie's Tavern.
When it came time to redo the master bath in the Brown home, my wife Jennifer jumped on the internet. She scoured that internet looking for the right person for the job. She selected Brad Bell and his team, and I'm glad she did. They did tremendous work in our house. You can see more, not just our before and afters that Scott has showed you for years now, but some before and afters from other jobs Brad has done at AlabamaBathRemodels.com. That's AlabamaBathRemodels.com. What Brad specializes in is master bath, kitchen, and master bedroom closets. Not to say that's all he does, but it is his specialty. And the reason I point those out is they're important rooms for you. Spend a lot of time in those rooms, but they also pop when it goes to sell your house. Time to sell your house. You get around to selling your house, people are going to look at the master bath, the kitchen, and the master bedroom closets, and they're going to fall in love with those rooms. So you'll get some of your money back, if not all your money back, when you go to sell your house. So hit Brad up now. Here is his sale. Get him to come out and just look at your job. He's happy to do that. 205-422-1758. That's 205-422-1758. Or AlabamaBathRemodels.com. That's the website, AlabamaBathRemodels.com. Or shoot Brad a text or give him a call, 205-422-1758.
The athletic director at Ohio State, Ross Bjork, who was Ole Miss, Texas A&M to Ohio State, if I know his trajectory.
You got it.
He's now one of the biggest voices in college athletics. And he says, apart from the calendar you just saw in the college football playoffs, he says that's where our focus has been. We need to focus on the rest of the calendar of college athletics, and that includes the portal window. He is for a 10-day window in May for your transfer portal. 10-day window in May for your portal window.
That's for fall sports, right?
For your fall
for football?
sports.
Okay.
Yep. And that is...
So is that the only one he's done in favor of the postseason one?
I don't think he's in favor of one in December because it's right in the middle of everything going on with the college football playoff in the season. But shortening this spring window for the fall sports is paramount, he says, because the contracts that we're about to be signing for the rev share, he thinks that it'll time out perfectly because you got to have it. You get your contracts. You got to have a cycle, right? Those contracts don't just randomly end whenever your season ends. There'll be a hard date on those contracts. He thinks the May window is the way to go, and there's several other changes he wants to get to.
So are the contracts going to be completely redone in July 1st or on July 1st?
I think so. But I mean, because there are a lot of people that are rushing to get deals done, as somebody said in the chat room earlier, the way they worded it, to get grandfathered into the current deal.
100%. And that's why this was supposedly the most chaotic.
This was going to be the most chaotic portal window in both sports because of that. So I think once you get to July 1, all bets are off, right? I mean, everything feels like it's going to be different now. And I don't know that anybody knows. You've talked to people, Lance, in the NIL world. There's still a lot of question what it's actually going to look like.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I think there are – I think collectives are handling it differently. Like, these athletes aren't stopping asking for money. But some certain collectives are trying to figure out how they're going to pay that money and how much they're going to have to pay and what the valuation is going to look like on these athletes and how you properly evaluate.
Yeah. Not to, how can I say this? A place like us, the next round. These athletes are going to have to show the clearinghouse what they have done to earn their money.
That's right.
Right? So if all of a sudden you hear, hi, I'm Jim Dunaway, Alabama linebacker for our friends at Roback. If you hear that in a commercial break, there is a good chance that is the Alabama collective or Auburn collective or an Ole Miss collective. I mean, we're nationwide, folks. Any collective wants to call us.
Right.
Just give us a call.
But
you're going to have to show why you're getting paid a certain amount of money.
Yeah.
And that's where places like us come in.
But let me ask you this. What is going to change then? And I forgot it was Barry Switzer, but there was an article in ESPN forever ago, and it was talking about there was a dealership that was set up where they were hiring athletes in the offseason, but those athletes, they said they were like laying in a barn sleeping.
They were the no-show jobs.
I mean, how is that going to change at all?
I don't know that it will. Now, one thing I was told about the clearinghouse is one of the massive, one of the big impacts for a player is going to be their social media presence.
Yeah.
And there was some sort of formula they were going to use. And it wasn't just followers, it was interactions. Like you can't just go build up, 80,000, 150,000, 2 million followers. What's your interaction like? Do you interact with people on social media? So that was going to play into it. But I think also, was it Jim Cavall that was in here the other day that said this clearinghouse thing, I mean, don't assume that's just going to withstand any sort of legal challenge either.
Then that's true. But also, who can put a value on how much I'm willing to pay an athlete to do my commercial?
That's right. If I am Roback, for instance, and I do all my evaluations, and I'm like, who we think might be the most impactful player we've ever seen for our product is Ryan Williams at Alabama. This guy, he gets our product. He's got the fan base we want to go after.
He's Hollywood, man. He's got a little flash to him.
We'll pay him whatever it takes.
Yeah, whatever it takes.
Well,
Yep.
Now, if it's an Alabama booster doing that, it looks weird. But if it's Roback, they got no connection to Alabama.
But how can you say that? How can you say that?
It's my money.
How can the clearinghouse say that if I'm running, Crimson Tide coal, and I'm
digging coal?
I'm digging coal, and we're fueling Pittsburgh. And here in Alabama.
Nobody advertises like coal mines, man. Come work for us.
Yeah.
Do you not want to see the sun for 12 hours?
You want an iron lung?
I heard a commercial the other day. My daughter.
Want a pet canary?
My daughter operates strictly on aux cord or on Bluetooth or whatever. And so she was home and was going back to school after Easter, and I was going to go fill her car up. So when you get in her car, it's just on some random radio station from Mobile, by the way. I mean, It's not even Birmingham station. She's got it set to some Mobile station. Well, it happened to be a Birmingham station I had never heard of, obviously some, smaller station. And when I got in, they were playing like Southern Gospel or something.
Yeah.
On Easter, and they break for a commercial, and it's some guy's plumbing company. And he goes, Lance Taylor has been in business for 5 years. And I'm like,
that's not a big brag.
Is that really a selling point?
That's past the national average, though, right?
If I'm hiring a plumber, I'm like, he's been doing it 5 years. I ought to be good.
Very few leaks reported.
Yeah.
Anyway, it'll be interesting to see where we go with the NIL and how we can do that starting July 1. But Ross Bjork wants to clean up the calendar now that the playoff, he feels like, is in a good place for the future. That's from the Ohio State athletic director. Before we do the viewing menu, Dan Orlovsky at some point, likely in the next hour, to talk about the NFL draft and some of the great input, including Jalen Milroe, that he has had on what's going to happen in that first round. Before we get to the viewing menu, Brownie, tell us about the fine folks at Johnston RV Center. It's time to get out this spring and summer. The weather has been so perfect for camping.
Yeah, man, just incredible weather right now, and you can go enjoy it throughout America with an RV from Johnston RV Center. I-65, exit 304 in Coleman, 334 in Decatur. And always online, johnstonrvcenter.com. They've got a price for just about every price range, as low as $129 a month. With approved credit, you can find everything from the biggest motorhomes out there to those fifth wheels, those toy haulers. You could find it at Johnston RV. Lifetime warranty on anything new and qualifying pre-owned from RV Warranty Forever. Johnston, RVCenter.com.
Hey, if you wear the eyeglasses, contacts, you're wasting money each and every year. I'm speaking from experience. I wore the contacts for about a decade, was wasting money on the contacts and solutions. Finally went to see Dr. Mark Michelson, one of the best decisions I ever made in my radio days. I had the 2200 vision. I was legally blind. After the procedure, which only took 12 minutes for both eyes, 2015 vision better than 2020. 205-969-8100. Ask for Amy. Tell her the next round sent you. She's going to hook you up with a hassle-free consultation. For more information, michelsonlaservision.com.
Oh. What are you watching, man?
So, unfortunately, there's no new releases on streaming or in the theaters tonight.
Wow.
But there's plenty to watch on TV. At 7:25 on the FX Movies channel, FXM, you can watch Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. It's one of my favorite Tarantino movies. It's fantastic. If you like old Hollywood, if you like true crime, it's a good movie.
The way the Manson murder should have gone down. Have you seen it?
I have not. I'm not a big Tarantino guy myself. I don't really care for his movies, so that kind of drove me off. I remember you anticipated this one for so long. That's back when we were in radio.
Yeah, so Jeeves, you were probably, 11, 12, maybe on a swing set, who knows. But when early production, when Tarantino talked about this premise.
He's such a seesaw guy.
But I was so hyped about it. I was like, oh, this is going to be incredible, because you started to see the cast come together. And with Leo and Brad Pitt and Margot Robbie. And so I was so excited about it. And it finally, when it dropped, it didn't disappoint. I thought it lived up to the hype.
As much as Lance built it up, I was expecting it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. But
I thought it was an iconic movie.
Oh yeah, great. I tell you, I watched Conclave last night. I thought it was really good.
Conclave is solid.
Yeah, really, really good.
We were talking about the fact that with the death of Pope Francis, Conclave is probably going to go through the roof now.
But behind the scenes, it's almost as catty as, an SGA election. Yes. If you go back and watch Tracy Flick in the movie Election, I can't, and I shouldn't be this naive. I guess it happens on every level in every industry, but it is a fascinating behind-the-scenes look that they say is really authentic.
Yep, and to Brown's point, they reported that Conclave has had a spike in viewership of 238%, I believe.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. It will only go up once they actually start the Conclave. They haven't even started it yet, and people are already watching it.
And then next up on VH1 at 6 p.m., you can watch the TV version of this, I guess. Good movie, Menace to Society. Have any of you seen it?
Yeah, I've seen it. Hughes Brothers.
Yep.
Yeah. Tupac.
Great movie. Love the green Mustang in that car.
1992, maybe?
Yeah, 92 or 93, right around then. But great movie. I'd recommend it. And then at 6 p.m., Brown, if you're not busy, you can finally watch Die Hard. It's on AMC.
I did not make Jurassic Park last night. I'm sorry, Tyler. My daughter had Taekwondo. I forgot about that. I'm sorry, Scott. My daughter had Taekwondo. I forgot about it when I committed to watching it at 7. I walk in Taekwondo. And
how many boards can she break?
Oh, all of them, Lance. And one of the dads, when I walked in, said, this is 100%. You'll love this, Tyler. I walk in Taekwondo. I run into one of the dads, and he goes, so, you're not watching Jurassic Park, are you? I was like, I forgot about Taekwondo when I told Tyler.
You don't have to have a set time. Just stream it.
No, I know. That's the whole thing. Tyler keeps giving me the start time. I can just go stream it anytime I want.
At any time.
I'll do that.
In fact, you can do this since you're on YouTube TV. You can just set it, and it'll have it for you when you get home.
That's right. A little DVR action, basically. Yeah.
I could let you borrow the DVD.
You could.
But you don't have a DVD player.
I do not have a DVD player. That's going to do me very little good.
Yeah.
I'm sure I could stream it somewhere.
I will tell you, Friends and Neighbors hanging in there for me. That was
I like it.
Yeah, that was a good episode.
You were out Monday,
week.
Luke and Bill. That was one of his big ones when Luke and Bill joined us Monday.
No, I just didn't. I mean, maybe that's how the rich live, where you've got just a major house party with a bunch of dudes on a Monday or Tuesday random night.
Yeah, we were very, very close to. I felt like we were this close to getting an all-time Jim Dunaway crush kiss between Amanda Peet and Olivia Munn. We were that close, I thought.
I thought it was going down for sure.
Yeah, me too. We were that close, I thought.
I mean, grown women typically don't tickle each other and roll around on the floor without some kind of ending there, right?
They do in my head, LT. I don't know how your brain works, but in my head,
is that your happy place
all the time
when you're experiencing turbulence?
I was sitting there going, "Oh my gosh, this is not happening."
Olivia Munn.
This is like top 5 Jim Dunaway movie crushes of all time. Rolling around on the floor together. Is this about to happen?
Pete has gotten some work done, but she looks the same. Olivia Munn looks different.
She had double mastectomy breast cancer, and it's gone through a horrible health time. It was a battle back from that. She's been through rough time. They almost lost her. And this is her return role.
This is your kick to my balls, making me feel bad.
How you feel, Lance?
I'm talking about her face looks completely different.
Yeah.
That probably have an impact.
I assume everyone does a little plastic surgery. Now I'm considering it myself.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Pecs? You're going to get some pecs?
Tighten this up a little bit.
Oh, yeah? Facelift?
Yeah.
Okay, you're one of those. If you started getting it done, it would be Jerry Jones, and it would quickly spiral out of control. I think you should do something and just see how it goes.
I would probably start in the pec region. That's probably where I'd start.
Get some pecs.
Just come in one day and be all bulked up.
Yeah, and you want calves too?
I'm okay with the. I'm okay from the waist down.
Have you seen the?
Notice I went a lot higher than the calves.
Yes.
Have you seen the ab implants people have been
getting?
You
Yeah.
get a fake 6-pack now.
Yeah, I like the dad bod there.
Yeah, that doesn't look weird at all, does it?
Yeah, it looks totally natural.
I think my gut will look less big if I have some pecs. And, all you need to do is a few push-ups and a few bench presses, and I'd have them anyway.
That's right. Yeah, but do the easy way.
When does the weight training start?
I can't squeeze that time to go to that gym.
When does the weight training start?
My buddy joined the gym just this week, and I was like, which one? I was hoping it was mine. It's a different one.
Mine?
Yeah. So, anyway, that's what we're watching, brought to you by our friends at Michelson LT.
205-969-8100. Again, ask for Amy Toe. The next round sent you. For more information, MichelsonLaserVision.com.
All right, Dan Orlovsky, part of the next hour coming up. But when we come back, dry erase board time. I'm going to ask you to write down. Yesterday we made a guess at a great coach in college football we thought may never win a national championship. Today I'm going to ask you, next 10 years, the further west on a map you would go feeling comfortable about a team that will win the national championship in college football. Next 10 seasons.
So how far west do I have to go?
The furthest west you can go where you feel comfortable that the most western team on the map wins a national championship. We'll write that and unveil that to you next on the next round. The show being brought to you today by our friends at Way to Wellness, your journey to healthy living. Stay in the best shape of your life with Leslie and her board-certified team. Their website is aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. Way to Wellness is your journey to healthy living. There's no contracts. There's no sign-up fees, and the consultation's free. The plans are all different. Different plan for you, different plan for your wife, different plan for Jim Dunaway. No cookie-cutter plan. You can do injection therapy, meal replacements, protein bars. I'm about to have one of those right now. Whatever you choose, Leslie will help guide you in a direction that will help fit your lifestyle. Aplanforme.com. Aplanforme.com. It's Way to Wellness, your journey to healthy living.
Follow Scott Forrester on Twitter at Scott Forrester TV.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the next round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
The 15th annual Logan Martin Lake Fest and Boat Show, presented by AmFirst, is May 9th through the 11th on Logan Martin Lake in Pell City. The Logan Martin Lake Fest and Boat Show is totally free to the public. Bama's biggest in-water boat show, 80 boats, lake lifestyle vendors, food trucks, beer garden, and live music all weekend long. There's fireworks on Friday night to honor veterans, a mermaid parade on Saturday, and free mimosas for Mama on Sunday. All by going to LoganMartinLakeFest.com, LoganMartinLakeFest.com.
Birmingham's fastest party returns to Barber Motorsports Park May 2nd through 4th. Medical Properties Trust presents the Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix powered by AmFirst. Experience 3 days of high-speed action featuring the fastest drivers in the world from the IndyCar Series. Enjoy the Kids Zone, food trucks, beer garden, Ferris wheel, fan zone, and more. The Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix powered by AmFirst. Kids 15 and under get in free. Get your tickets now.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
The biggest and baddest track in NASCAR, Talladega Superspeedway is ready to put on another amazing show in April. If you've never been to this track, you've got to come check it out. 2.5 miles of nothing but pure speed and incredible action at every turn. Don't miss the Jack Links 500 NASCAR weekend at Talladega Superspeedway. It's April 25th through the 27th, and you can get your tickets right now at TalladagaSuperspeedway.com. That's TalladagaSuperspeedway.com.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between two warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
All right, as we roll forward, our number 2 of the next round here today, Dan Orlovsky, at some point to talk about tomorrow night's NFL draft, about 32 hours and 53 minutes from now, according to the clocks, that they start way too early over on ESPN on one of our, or actually now on 2 of our TVs here in our studio. Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, Forster and Tyler and Melton behind the big glass, EG and Taylor Korn handling everything both on campus and on social media at Next Round Live. Remember, like, subscribe, and give us a thumbs up. We appreciate you guys so much for being with us at Next Round Live. We've talked about NIL and basketball, Chad Baker-Mazara and others that are in the news now. We're going to talk some college football in a second, but the NIL stuff in the portal, and 45% of basketball players hitting the portal this year has got a lot of people down that thinks the end of college athletics is coming. And Stuart Mandel wrote in his mailbag this week at The Athletic that there's been many times throughout history we thought college athletics was about to die. I want to give you a few of those right after we tell you, Brownie, about our friends at NASCAR coming back to Talladega.
Yeah, it is the Jack Links 500 weekend coming back to the Talladega Superspeedway this weekend. You can reserve your spot at TalladagaSuperspeedway.com. I will say it until the day I die. If you have lived in the state of Alabama and have never just taken in a race at Talladega, you are missing out. The people watching is unmatched. The atmosphere is just incredible. The sheer power and noise, you feel it in your chest. I mean, it is a blast whether you like NASCAR or not. It's just one of the things you need to do in this state. It is this weekend, Jack Links 500 weekend. Get your spot now, TalladagaSuperspeedway.com. TalladagaSuperspeedway.com.
In 1929, the head coach at Case Western. No, I'd never heard of it. You?
Nope.
Did they used to be a power, maybe?
I don't know. But in 1929, Case Western's head coach was quoted, Bob Fletcher. Can you do a quick search for us of Case Western?
It's going to be Texas or California.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, out west. I'm going to say Colorado. I'm going to say they're in Colorado.
I'm going to guess... I'm going to say Wyoming.
I'll go Bobcats, the Case Western Bobcats.
I'm going to say the Case Western Cowboys.
I'll go Wildcat.
Wildcats.
Going to have claws.
Case Western head coach Bob Fletcher was lamenting and got picked up nationally with this quote. Only a few college players nowadays play the game because they like it. Intercollegiate football is dying, said Case Western head coach Bob Fletcher in 1929.
Well, he could say it in 2025, and it goes right in line with whatever. I mean, that exact quote right there.
Well, you know what he's saying right now? I told you so.
Yeah.
It's a mess.
From well beyond the grave.
Michigan head coach Harry Kipke replied to Case Western, head coach Bob Fletcher, saying, I had the same idea after we lost 3 games this year. Then we won the next 2, and I felt better about intercollegiate athletics.
Got on that losing streak.
Forster, Case Western. What do you have for us, man?
Case Western Reserve University is a private research university in Cleveland, Ohio.
Oh, boy.
Cleveland, Ohio. Is it still in existence?
Western threw us off a little bit. Right?
Yeah, we were way too far west.
Yeah.
Did somebody in London name it?
Yeah. Apparently, Lewis and Clark had not got on the map yet with Case Western. Then they started televising games on television in 1954 when Notre Dame AD Ed Moose Krause declared college football is dying a slow death due to the NCAA's TV restrictions.
God knows. So he was saying it was too restricted?
Too restricted.
Okay.
30 years later, when the courts ruled against the NCAA, in 1984, the Georgia-Oklahoma lawsuit over the TV rights, opening up games to be televised whenever they can negotiate them. Then Vanderbilt AD, future SEC Commissioner Roy Kramer, said this could mean the downfall of college football as it exists. Too much TV.
Too much. The one thing we do not want is people watching our products. I mean, that is going to be the death of us, man.
So in 54, TV restrictions was going to kill college football.
Right.
30 years later, it's still alive and
Just
thriving.
Too much.
Now it's too much television. And the NFL began to surpass college football in popularity. And that's hard to believe, but college football was the more popular sport until the mid-'60s when the NFL started to pass it and into the early 70s. And at that point, Gale Sayers, the great Kansas running back, Chicago Bears, said the NFL passing college football in popularity is the downfall of the sport. College football will never recover.
Yeah. Can't lose to the NFL. Now, there you go. Play on a whole different day.
That concern lasted 2 years until 1972 when the downfall of college athletics was freshman eligibility. They decided to let freshmen play, and Bill Meek called it lousy and ridiculous, and the Houston head coach declared on playing freshmen, maiming kids isn't part of what our program and our athletics should be about.
Maiming kids. Those poor freshmen were not ready to go.
Those poor freshmen were not ready to go.
So, as I remember the story, freshman eligibility was started by the Marshall plane crash. Like, the NCAA had no other choice but to let Marshall play freshmen. And then they were like, well, if we're going to let Marshall do it, I think the next year they're like, everybody may as well do it.
That's right. That is how it started to fall apart.
It's just insane to think that at one point we were like,
Lou Alcindor, who led his team to 3 straight national championships as a sophomore, junior, and senior. First of all, he was able to stay in college through his senior year. Couldn't play his freshman year, but that his freshman team could beat the team that had just won the national championship.
Like 17-year-old Ryan Williams was one of the best receivers in America last year.
Yes.
And we used to think, I mean, that's a 17-year-old freshman. They were like 18, maybe 19 years old.
I mean, we wouldn't have seen Ryan Williams until this fall.
That's right. And those were, and now you've got guys that reclassify that should be college seniors. Ryan Williams is one of those guys, high school seniors that are college freshmen. That's how far it's come now.
Yep. And then, of course, in recent years, what did people tell us would kill college athletics? The college football playoffs.
That's right.
It would kill the regular season.
Yep. Kill the bowls.
We've got to protect the regular season. We expanded to 12 this past year. Brownie, what did you think of the regular season?
It was one of the more fun I've watched. That was highly entertaining.
Do you agree?
Yeah, I thought it was fine. The playoffs didn't do much for me.
Yeah,
the playoffs weren't great.
But the regular season was just as interesting as it ever was,
Well,
maybe more so.
I mean, just bringing it to our state, Alabama losing to Oklahoma late in the season. I mean, what that did. And even the drama of the 12-team selection. I mean, a lot of people still believed Alabama was going to get in.
I mean,
3 losses.
Yeah.
The Florida-Ole Miss game, that game is completely meaningless without the playoffs. I mean, it's meaningful to Florida and Ole Miss, but with the playoffs, that became one of the biggest upsets in college football last year. That mattered. I mean, it made more games matter.
So when we talk about the NIL or the playoffs or whatever, the portal killing college athletics, we've lived through all of this before.
Well, by the way, TV ratings still remain massive in college football, and I think the NCAA tournament just had one of their most successful TV ratings tournaments in a very long time.
And by comparison,
in the middle of that sport, which is worse than football,
the NBA is bragging about its opening weekend playoff TV ratings, which on average was 4.4 million a game.
Okay.
Up 17% from last year and setting a 25-year record. 4.4 million a game. That's an average game on a college football Saturday. And the NBA
that's not your number one game, yeah.
The NBA is bragging about those numbers.
Yeah.
So NASCAR would die for those numbers. The NBA would die for college football numbers. Major League Baseball would die for college football numbers. I do wonder,
though, the NFL crushes everything, but if you had 3 or 4 games a night for 40-plus days, how popular would it really be? And I'm going back to the NBA playoffs just because there's so much of it.
That's right.
Yeah, at some point you would tap out, is what you're saying. The one reason the NFL and college football are successful is they play and then would get time off to anticipate the next game. You don't really get that with the NBA playoffs.
Yeah, so that's a little bit of the cautionary tale of where we've been in college athletics. Our friends at Bojangles bringing us part of the show, and then we're going to do our test of how far west are you willing to go.
I forgot I wrote that down.
To in the next 10 years to claim a national championship on a map. How far west do you have to go after we hear from our friends at Bojangles?
One of the easiest choices you'll make today is ordering Bojangles Bites at lunch. The bite-sized hand-breaded chicken fried to crispy perfection, perfect for sharing, snacking, or when you're on the go. Just don't call it a nugget. The only hard part, choosing from the 6 dipping sauces, one for every craving, from the creamy house-made ranch to the sweet and spicy peach honey pepper sauce. It all depends on what kind of mood you are in. Head to your nearest Bojangles today and discover the dippable, shareable, craveable Bo Bites. It's Bo time.
And our friends at Storm Restoration Roofing, Greg from Pell City and his guys can take care of you. He and his wife, Andrea, lower left pictured there, they own the company, locally owned Storm Restoration Roofing for over 2 decades. And here's what you get with them. First of all, you get a family-owned business.
Who's that chunky guy there with?
God, look how chunky I was.
I know.
The family-owned business. They take care of you first. They really care about the customers because they want you to be with them the rest of your home-owning life, right? Once you use Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing, you're going to keep using them. Roof replacement, storm damage, anything that goes on your roof, he'll take care of you. He's got a builder's license, so he can help you, like even on a deck. He's doing some work for LT right now. That's what Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing can do. But it all starts on top of your roof, where he'll get up there and give you a free, no-cost roof inspection. Absolutely free. 205-542-3531. 542-3531, or look him up on Facebook, Greg from Pell City. Full roof replacements, roofing repairs, storm damage. He handles it all. Let him get on the roof and give you a free evaluation from a trustworthy, good dude. It's Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing.
The College Football Spotlight.
The Shunnarah Spotlight each day, presented by our guy Alexander Shunnarah. And what Alexander has done has been amazing. 24 years. They've grown from more to more than 150 lawyers, supported by more than 500 dedicated team members right in the heart of Birmingham, Alabama. And they've recovered $2 billion and more, maintaining Alexander's core values: integrity, mastery, passion, and success. If you find yourself in need of a lawyer, call the Alexander Shunnarah Trial Attorneys. You pay nothing unless they win your case. Shunnarah.com. That is Shunnarah.com.
My fear when I ask this question is that we all three have the same answer.
And you said 10 years.
10 seasons starting this year, so that's 10 years.
Yeah.
So 10 years. How far west are you willing to go that you could guarantee a team, as much as you can, is a national champion in college football?
Okay, so this is not possibility. This is not like
that you're willing to. Now, we were putting nothing on the line here, but if you're willing to, if we were saying we're putting $1,000, $10,000 down, whatever.
You want the city? You want the?
I want the
school. I've got a city.
I want the school.
I wrote city down. But you'll know.
My fear is that all three of us have the same.
We could.
No way
now,
you got mine.
I will say this to put this in perspective.
Is it Carson West or whatever it was?
Case Western?
Not even West.
I would say, I think it's since UCLA won their last basketball national championship under Jim Herrick, which was 95, I think.
It was.
That just for basketball, you haven't had to go further west than Lawrence, Kansas to find a national champion.
Right.
So, like.
Well, we're talking football here, right?
I'm aware.
Okay.
The western third of the country.
Arizona won one in 98.
All right, so it's since 98.
97.
Since whenever Arizona won it. You haven't had to go west of Kansas. So the western third of the country barely participates in basketball on the championship level.
That's right. And the Pac-12 dying is not helping this out.
It is not helping this or basketball, yes.
Okay, let's go Brown first. Brown, what do you have?
I have Eugene, Oregon, 97403. I even went zip code for you, Jim, just to be very specific. I think in the next decade, they are just too good of a program that is in the mix too often. Now in a power program in the Big Ten, I think Oregon, maybe not even under Dan Lanning, it could be another coach, but Oregon will find their way to a national championship in the next decade. So I have got Eugene, Oregon, zip code 97403.
Okay.
United States of America.
I'm more aggressive.
How is that more aggressive? That is almost as far west as you can get.
Well,
I mean, how far from the Pacific Ocean are they?
I think you're more aggressive by not going that far west.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Let's see what LT
So I went
does.
as far west as possible is what you're saying.
I'm going LSU.
Wow.
1,818 miles from Baton Rouge to L.A. I would love to go L.A. I'd like to stretch it almost 2,000 more miles.
Wow, that's more aggressive than me.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm just not seeing it. I know you're going to go Texas and probably Sark.
So,
I'm going Texas.
Wow.
I'm going hook 'em.
God, your United States is awful.
It really is.
Oh, I thought it was really good.
Are you serious?
Why?
Like, if I didn't know what we were doing, I wouldn't know you had just
I
drawn
think
the United States.
I could bake a cookie in the shape of the U.S. better than you drew that.
Why? I mean,
well, first of all, Texas looks like it needs to go see UCA. Florida looks like it does not need to go see UCA. Florida is extremely excited about Texas winning a championship.
The water is cold on this side of the Gulf.
No, an inexperienced taxidermist skinned an elephant and put the elephant skin down.
Water cold, all about the girth.
Uh-huh.
What's up?
What'd you say about Maine?
I said Maine looks excited.
Yeah.
Maine is really fired up about this.
And then, boy, we rounded off the western half.
We did.
Of the
I think
US.
California just fell in the ocean.
Awful map.
Just floated out to the
Michigan.
Pacific.
I undersized Michigan.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
But the Upper Peninsula is really big.
It's
though.
there. It's there.
Yeah.
Okay, so
hard to find, but the Upper Peninsula is big enough.
Let's
Some of the coastal areas of California secede.
Yeah. Oh, that and Carolinas. Yeah.
So if we make this,
there you go. It's much better. Yes.
If we got, and I don't know if we do poll questions anymore. If we got Taylor to roll a poll question out, better chance of winning a national championship in the next 10 years. Oregon, LSU, or Texas? What do you think most people would say?
Well, I think Texas is the betting favorite in Las Vegas today.
Which is crazy.
I believe that's the case, though. But I think my belief is, I think you and I both agreed that Western football is in trouble right now.
Yeah, I mean, look, I've seen it with the LSU brand. I've seen it once with Texas. I still think it was somewhat flukish, with just one unbelievable player that beat an unbelievable team. And I just hadn't seen it with Oregon. And it seems like every time Oregon's at a really good spot, something happens.
Oh, I agree with you. Choked it away maybe. I don't know if that's fair.
There's never a time in modern college football history from 1960 on that USC would not have been on somebody's board.
Oh, I know.
Well, and you go back 3 years ago when they hired Lincoln Riley, I'd have been like, oh, this done deal.
How many? You'd be how many? Not one. How many?
So you believe we don't have to go west of the Mississippi to find another national champion?
Tiger Stadium is on the Mississippi.
I don't feel great about it.
It is on the eastern.
I thought about Oregon. I thought about Texas. I thought about USC. But I don't know. I mean, we just don't see it.
I mean, that would be hard to believe that in a decade.
I thought about Notre Dame for a minute, but Indiana. I mean, I don't know. Like, if we're really looking at
I mean, if we
longitude, it's hard to believe that west of the Mississippi will not produce a national champion in a decade. I mean,
can you pull up a map?
Why?
Pull up a map of the United States.
Map of the United States, Tyler.
Google that and put it on our big screen.
You're not going to recognize it compared to what Jim drew. It's going to look totally different.
Do we really need a map with yours?
Yeah. I just want to make sure that, I mean, what football powerhouses are we
west of the Mississippi?
Are we throwing out here? I mean, so Oklahoma.
Yep.
No Oklahoma.
Nope.
If you still had Lincoln Riley there, I would take a look at it, but I'm not going to do it with Venables.
Okay, so the Mississippi River runs up the Mississippi, obviously, to Tennessee, Memphis, right up through Illinois into Iowa to Minnesota.
When I look at that map, the only thing that would concern me, Lance, is USC finding their footing.
Yep.
Oregon.
Yep.
Washington has been close, but I don't really worry about that. Texas.
Yep.
And Oklahoma. I mean, those would be the four west of the Mississippi.
If I had to go a fifth, I would go A&M, I guess.
They've never been close.
Yeah.
But
Utah's been closer.
I mean, Nebraska has got a history. I love our guy Matt Rule, but I wouldn't sweat it a ton.
But at least they're in the Big Ten. So Nebraska, Oklahoma, Texas, Texas A&M, USC, Oregon, Washington, and those are really your only contenders anyway, right? Utah, but I think their past is
Arizona
behind
State
them.
was really good this year. Is that going to happen again?
Yeah,
I don't think so.
No. I mean, you'll get a random Big 12 team that by numbers is going to be in the playoffs, but are they a real contender? I don't think so.
But yet TV ratings are good. Look how much of the country really not in the running for a national championship.
Well, I mean, Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State, and Clemson, I mean, that's all you've had to do recently.
Yep.
Well, I guess throw LSU in there because LSU does have 2019 for going last decade.
Yeah. Interesting conversation. That's our Shunnarah spotlight today, Brownie.
Yes, Alexander Shunnarah, trial attorneys. Whatever your need, when you're in need of an attorney, start with Alexander Shunnarah. Shunnarah.com. That is Shunnarah.com.
And to all you folks who watch us in Florida, you're welcome. I think you're bigger than you really are.
Do you look at that map, though, compared to yours? I mean, look at that map Tyler's got compared to yours. You see why we were so critical.
Yeah. Apparently, Miami's on south of Havana on my map.
Yeah, they touch.
You go Miami, Havana, Orlando.
That's a Cuban Missile Crisis.
Yes.
We could have set up a brigade between Orlando and Miami and taken care of that. Our show also today being brought to you by our friends at Hemp Hill LT. It's a good time to get checked on.
Yeah, right now, 205-229-2090. They've got $1,000 off those HVAC units, 0% financing. Whether you experience plumbing, heating, or cooling issues in your home or business, they are ready to serve you. Had to have Hunter come out yesterday again after coming out on Friday. Came out yesterday, had to...
Lance, I'll be in my bedroom.
we just basically... He was like, did I wake you up? I was like, not yet. But he came out and had to fix that dryer, and guess what? He did it. Knocked it out.
Of course he did. Yeah.
They are the best in the business. 205-229-2090. Hard to stop a train. For more information, hemphillservices.com.
So the first baseball game today is Cardinals and Braves, 11:15 a.m. So if you want some baseball plays, a lot of day baseball, lanceslock.com, brought to you by our friends at Hemp Hill. You get Phillies, Mets, you get Yankees, Guardians also, early baseball, 12:10. Of the Yankees, Aaron Judge, 4 of 4 last night. He's hitting .411. .411 is batting average right now. He's on pace. I always love these, but, I mean, we're 25 games in. He's on pace for 47 home runs, 167 RBIs, coming off a year where he won the MVP. He's on a hotter pace now than he was his MVP year.
I think he'll cool down.
He will. I mean, to put it in perspective, Tony Gwynn hit .390. Is that right? Is that the closest anybody's come in our lifetime?
No, that was George Brett. By the way, coming up on 4 downs
George
today.
Brett is?
I love when it syncs up like
I know,
that.
but
Isn't that weird?
Gwynn had a really good year one year where people started talking 400, and he was a long way away from it.
Yeah, Gwynn still is the best hitter I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Just pure hitter.
Yeah.
Chicago Cubs have played 25 games. They beat the Dodgers last night 11-10 in extra innings. That's the 7th of their 25 games. They've scored 10 or more runs. So a lot of runs for Kyle Tucker and the Cubs. And on the flip side of that, the Padres beat the Tigers yesterday 2-0. The Padres are a hot 17-7. That was their 7th shutout of their 17 wins. 7 of them have been shut out. shutouts. The most shutouts by pitching staff since the 1992 Atlanta Braves.
Oh, wow.
Pretty good pitching staff.
Yeah, it is. I mean, do they?
Glavine, Smoltz, Avery.
Through April, at least, they've challenged the Dodgers in the West. I mean, we thought the Dodgers were going to walk.
Well,
with
the Dodgers, as of yesterday, and I haven't checked this, and it's probably gotten worse. They were the 10th best run differential.
Yeah,
and last year, I mean, they were just smoking people on that.
Padres 1 game ahead of the Los Angeles Dodgers right now out west.
I mean, again, we thought the Dodgers, and look, they'll end up winning that division, obviously. The Padres have hung with them for a month, though, and there are a lot of people that didn't think that'd happen.
Mets and Phillies in first, Braves in last in the National League East, despite the 4-game winning streak before the loss yesterday afternoon, or in this case, early morning here. Baseball with the Cardinals and Braves going at 11:15 today. NFL draft conversation coming up on the other side of the show today, being brought to you in part by our friends at Gutter Cap. LT, tell us about Gutter Cap.
Yeah, 205-823-2212. Let Chris Stewart come out and give you an absolutely free estimate. Very important. Mention the next round. You're going to get an incredible deal there. 22 years in business. Cap it, don't snap it. The last thing you want to do this spring, you're doing the spring cleaning. You get the ladder out, you get on the roof, you slip, you fall, you snap the neck and die. You're no good to the wife or kids. Call today for the absolutely free estimate. 205-823-2212. Gutter Cap, patented aluminum cover system. It will go on top of the gutter. You will never have to clean them out again. The only thing that will go through is water. It will keep all debris out. Cap it, don't snap it. 205-823-2212 or guttercapbirmingham.com.
Take the next round anywhere you go with official Next Round gear. Buy yours today at nextround.store.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
Your representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
You could win a Cadillac CT5 or your share of $25,000 in free play and cash at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. The more you visit, the more chances you have to win. Play the latest, most exciting games around with fun bonuses and big jackpots. You can be a winner too. Come win your share during the Cadillac CT5 and $25,000 giveaway at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Drawings April 5th and 6th. Located off I-459, exit 31, Derby Parkway. Must be 21 or older, must be present to win.
The biggest and baddest track in NASCAR is Talladega Super Speedway, and it's ready to put on another amazing show in April. If you've never been to the Talladega Super Speedway, you have to check it out. This beast is 2.5 miles of nothing but pure speed and incredible action at every single turn. Don't miss the Jack Links 500 NASCAR weekend at Talladega Super Speedway, April 25th through 27th. Get your tickets now at TalladagaSuperspeedway.com. Don't miss the action. TalladagaSuperspeedway.com.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. I mean, where else are the scenic views as good as your view of the game? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Since you listened to my last message so well and got rid of those cargo shorts and stained t-shirts, it's time to replace them with Rhoback. Go to Rhoback.com and click on the Refresh collection to find all that you need for an EG-approved wardrobe. It includes pieces that will have you ready to hit the golf course after a busy day of meetings or comfy favorites for travel and working from home. Get 20% off using code TNR20. See, I'm saving you some money.
Looking for a great place for that boring meeting? Leave the office and go to the Golfus. What about corporate events like board meetings, sales meetings, customer appreciation events? How about the Golfus? Watch parties for football and basketball, parties for birthdays or couple showers. The Golfus is a great place for those. The Golfus has Birmingham's best golf simulators and man caves in Vestavia on Highway 31, opening soon in Trussville and on Highway 280. Bring whatever you want to eat or drink, even bring your own clubs. Get out of the office. Go to the Golfus. Book your spot now at thegolfus.com.
We love the moments, the memories, the magic, the championships. So let's get more victories, more celebration. He's got a chance. It won't be caught. More unforgettable. More football. More of what you love.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between 2 warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
We'll get to our Bojangles 4 downs in just a second. But I want to do our lags. Who's lagging behind? Fact of the day.
How about I was out at the bus stop today with my daughter, and my neighbor pulled out to go to work and stopped to talk to me for a second. His son is part owner of Lags. I had no earthly idea. My next door neighbor's son.
Eric or Justin?
It's a smaller owner. I think just one of the. It's neither Eric or Justin.
Okay. We call them investors.
He's an investor, I guess, part owner. But I was like, we were out there the other day. I love their burger. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, it really good. Just go with the deluxe. Get the tots if you are a tot guy. If not, the fries are great. But the tots, get them a little crispy. Fantastic. Located right there in Avondale, between Avondale and Cahaba Brewing. Stone's throw away from Mom's basement. You can sit out on that patio where every single Braves game, they've got happy hour going on with a good selection of cold beer. But this is a nostalgic brand that they brought back from the old days on Broadway there in Homewood. And not only the great burgers, also specialty sandwiches like that bologna sandwich, and the hours are pretty incredible. Tonight they'll go till midnight, so they did breakfast. They've got lunch coming up, go to midnight. Thursday, Friday, Saturdays, not only can you do breakfast, lunch, and dinner, you can do late night till 2 a.m. Great place if you're working a second or a third shift. Stop in, see Eric, Justin, the fine folks right there at Lags Eatery.
There are 12 cities in the United States that have all 4 franchises in all 4 major sports: the NFL, Major League Baseball, NBA, and the NHL. Some of these, of course, like New York, have multiple of different teams in baseball and such. Of the 12 cities that have all 4 major sports, which city is lagging behind off of our Lags commercial there and have yet to advance in a playoff since 2017?
Miami. No, that's
Miami
not true.
Doesn't
the Panthers.
You just did that only for the Dolphins, who have not advanced to the playoffs.
Yeah, I would think the Panthers have.
Yeah. They have
Stanley
Cup champions.
The Heat played for the championship in 20.
Probably the Marlins.
Never mind. I'll take that back.
I had to think Miami for a second, even having all 4, but they do.
Not Dallas.
Obviously not New York because of the Yankees.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I think I've got this.
Who is it? I know the answer, so I cannot participate.
Because, damn it, they got the NFC Championship. I was going to say Detroit.
Oh.
Of course, I don't know what the Red Wings have done. I know the Pistons hadn't done shit. Tigers hadn't done anything.
Yeah, and the Red Wings have been bad lately. It is Chicago.
Yep.
It is Chicago.
Forrester.
Yep.
The last time a Chicago team, I think I'm right about this, the Cubs went to they won a playoff game. They've lost their last 2 wild card games. I think it was the Cubs, the last one to advance out of an opening round in the postseason.
Yeah, the Bulls have been dormant. Obviously, White Sox go without saying. The Bears go without saying.
They made the playoffs twice in that time frame, but did not advance.
See, it always throws me off in the NHL because there's a lot of 8 seeds that upset 1s, and the playoffs are so different.
But the Blackhawks have been bad. In fact, of the other 11 cities, all of them have either had a champion in one of the 4 major sports, or they've been at least to the Final 4 of their 4 major sports. So every other city has had somebody either to win a championship or at least be in contention to win a championship, not just advance in the playoffs, except Chicago 2017, which maybe doesn't seem like a long time to you guys, but Tua was a bench warmer coming off the bench to win a national championship for Nick Saban in Alabama, and that was the last time they'd done something. The Bears, by the way, haven't advanced in the playoffs since 2011 as we get ready for the NFL
Is that Rex
draft.
Grossman? Is that how long ago that's been?
2011 was
that Jay Cutler?
I think it was Cutler.
Was it Cutler, not Rex Grossman? Yeah, Grossman was 08, right? When they went to the Super Bowl?
Yeah. And that was just in the divisional round. So some poor times there in Chicago, which is a great sports town.
They gave up 68 sacks last year, the Bears.
So we'll talk NFL because the Bears are part of the conversation. Orlovsky coming up later in the show, but we want to talk a little NFL now after we remind you our friends at Woodhouse Day Spa are there to make you feel at ease no matter who your team takes.
I had a friend reach out yesterday about the Woodhouse Day Spa, inquiring about the great gift cards, and it's so simple. You can do it a couple of ways. You can stop in, see Stuart and the incredible staff located conveniently at the Summit Shopping Center. It's beautiful. Renovations, beautiful location up there, or you can just go online 24/7. They make it so easy for the guy out there. We don't like doing anything. Go to birmingham.woodhousespas.com. They will email you the gift card right there, and then you can give it to the wife or girlfriend or whoever and let them choose from a menu of over 70 options, including the waxing, skincare, nail services, body treatments, massages. Woodhouse Day Spa, voted America's best day spa since 2009. Again, order that special person gift 24/7 online. birmingham.woodhousespas.com, or just stop in, tell them the next round sent you.
For those that cover the NFL draft, Cam Ward first to Tennessee, and then after that, everyone is saying who knows. Cleveland, New York Giants, New England Patriots, 2, 3, 4 are all taking trade talks. And in fact, there is conversation that trades will be at a premium, that a lot of people don't have any of these quarterbacks with a first-round grade, including Cam Ward.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm a Titans fan, and I've talked to a couple, I know a few, I feel like I'm only taking Cam Ward because I've got the first pick and I need a quarterback.
And he's the best one.
And he's the best one of this group. And to me, that's just a terrible reason to take a quarterback. And I don't know what else you do. I guess you just lose another year because that's what you do when you don't have a quarterback in the NFL. You couldn't stick with Levis. There's no reason to go out and pay, a ton of money for one of these, one of these late career free agents like the Falcons did Kirk Cousins. I mean, I don't know what you do really.
I don't know what you do either. Does it surprise you guys a little bit? I mean, the Titans are one of these up and down. 12 wins, 4 wins. That this is only the third time they've selected number 1 overall. This is only the first time as the Titans. So they did it twice as the Oilers. 1973, you want to guess who that guy was, number 1 overall?
Earl Campbell?
That was 1979, Earl Campbell.
Oh,
but
gosh.
1973 was John Matuszak.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. It couldn't have been 79 with Earl Campbell because he was a big part of the 78, 79.
Maybe 76.
Yeah.
78.
Yeah.
78.
Okay, so he's a rookie his first 2 years.
But
78, Earl Campbell, 73, Matuszak.
I brought it up to Clay. He disagreed a little bit. I think you guys agree with me. Tennessee has never drafted a good quarterback. I mean, they have got a horrible track record. And as Clay clapped back with the Dolphins, and I cannot disagree on that one either, but the Titans have a terrible track record of drafting quarterback. They've gotten every one of them wrong.
And the folks at NFL.com, Little T sent this excerpt. Shedeur Sanders is projected anywhere from the 6th overall pick to the 6th round.
No, he's not.
Depending on who you're looking at.
6th round?
Depending on who you're talking to. One longtime NFL assistant coach said his time with Shedeur Sanders was, quote, the worst formal interview I've ever been in my life. He's so entitled. He takes unnecessary sacks. He never plays on time. He has horrible body language. He blames teammates. But the biggest thing is he's not that good. That was one NFL, longtime NFL
executive. I do think the offensive line has been really bad. It got a little bit better in Boulder this year, but he did hold on to the football a little long. The entitlement, I think that probably is real. But I think he's still a really, really talented guy. And if he falls out of the first round, I think you're getting value.
Oh, I would agree completely. And that was a eye-grabbing quote from that guy, from this anonymous assistant coach. But you get a lot of this in the draft, too, when a team wants to draft a guy. And they'll start leaking stuff out in hopes that he falls. I don't know if that is an effective strategy. It's hard to know that.
Or is there a possibility with Deion being as polarizing as he is, this is somebody that just doesn't like Deion Sanders?
He's just got an axe to grind, yeah.
A different guy, longtime AFC executive. It didn't go great in our interview. He wants to dictate what he's going to do and what's best for him. He makes you feel small. Another NFC GM said, I liked him the year before. They did change coordinators. It just felt different. It felt less athletic, less arm talent. Everything felt less. If you're talking about this year's tape versus Jaxson, Dart, and Shedeur, I don't think it is particularly close. I'll take Dart.
This Dart love just blows me away.
Blows me away, too. But back to Shedeur, okay, I liked last year. They were so much better as a team this year, winning 9 games.
They were.
Isn't that what you want from your quarterback?
Is to win games.
Yeah.
Is to win games. And then there's a former Ohio State and Alabama wide receiver, Jameson Williams, who took to social media and posted this. He now unfollows the Detroit Lions, and there is buzz growing that the reason he is upset with the organization is that they are shopping him in trade talks leading into the draft. He is no longer following them on Instagram, and he says, stay sucker free. 100, 100, 100, 100, Ghostbuster emoji, sucker. Stay sucker free. Loyalty be for any and everything. And then I think those are presents.
Those are burning hearts.
Burning
I do believe,
hearts.
yes.
Burning hearts. Okay.
It's a new emoji
hearts.
for me. I've not seen the burning
hearts.
heart.
So stay sucker free.
That's good advice.
So JMO could be on the move. Bears, Raiders, Cowboys, Saints, Cardinals are people that would be interested in Jameson Williams. Smart move, bad move by the Lions. I will tell you by May 1st, a few days, they've got to decide whether or not to pick up their 5th-year option on him. Where are you on JMO right now?
Look, I think he can be really, really good as far as a deep threat. I mean, when you've got Amon-Ra St. Brown is your kind of go-to. You've got one of the better tight ends. You've got Gibbs that does a lot out of the backfield. I mean, Jameson really can just focus on being that deep threat. You know, Detroit led the NFL last year with over 33 points per game. So, you know, maybe it's a situation where, you know, Matt Campbell looks at this, not Matt Campbell. Oh, my gosh.
Dan Campbell.
Dan Campbell looks at this and he's like, we've got offense all over the place. It's not that big of a deal. And I would think that Jameson Williams probably wants to be more of a priority. And when you're playing, like, I'd rather win 15 games, have an NFL leading 33-plus points per game and be a good part of that than go out and be a number one for the Jets.
And unfortunately for them, he's missed a lot of time. You know, he missed the first half of his rookie season, played only 6 games there. Then he had the gambling suspension. So he played limited games. See, I think it was a 4-game suspension, if I remember right, year 2, if I'm not mistaken.
That seems right.
Didn't play all the games last. So he's been off the field some, and that has hurt. But when he's been on the field, I looked it up, 1,000-yard receiver this year and 7 touchdowns, by far and away his best statistical year. He only had 400-some-odd receiving yards, if that, coming into this year.
They do have they have a lot of options at wide receiver and offense. Maybe they can get something back. Would you give him up for a second-round pick?
I'm never good at this question. Like, what is a pick worth? I don't know. Or what is a draft guy?
You're not going to give up a first-round pick.
No. Yes.
I'd give up
a second.
I would, too. It'll be interesting to see. Also interesting that Travis Hunter Sr., Travis Hunter Jr.'s dad, has been granted by the courts the ability to go to Green Bay. He was able to travel today. He has to return to Florida, but the Palm Beach courts said he can travel. He is under house confinement for gun and drug charges convicted in 2023. But when he goes to Green Bay, he can go only to the hotel and Lambeau Field and back to the hotel and then back to his home in Florida. That is he tracked, and that's where he can go.
Much more lenient than Johnny Sack got for his daughter's wedding in The Sopranos.
Right.
Where they actually wheeled him out when they were throwing rice at her. I mean, that's actually a pretty good deal for Hunter's pops.
So is this why that's why his dad was not at the Heisman?
That's why he was not at the Heisman. He was under house confinement as part of the plea deal in 2023. But the courts have allowed him now to go to Green Bay, so he will be by his son's side when he is drafted very early tomorrow night in the NFL
Boy,
draft.
his commissary budget has gone up a lot, though, or it's about to.
Yeah.
Oh, heck yeah. He can get all the room service he wants in that hotel room.
Well, no, I'm talking about once he gets back to the pen.
Yeah, when he gets back, all the cigarettes and whatever else he wants.
Yeah.
And then one more draft note here before we turn the page. Orlovsky joins us soon. One owner.
You keep saying that. His flight still hasn't landed. We don't know that.
Okay.
And we got to wait on his flight to land. It was delayed.
One owner says he has 2 big trades in the works. Which owner do you think would make a comment like that today?
Jerry Jones.
Jerry Jones.
Yeah.
Jerry Jones.
Pretty easy answer.
Yeah, he's got 2 big trades in the works. 2 big. Make a comment. Jerry Jones.
Pretty easy.
Big. 2 close to signing Micah Parsons to an extension, which would be big for them. But
is there speculation on who the trades are?
It does. No. He's just floating it out there. I got 2 big trades in the works. It's gonna be big. It's gonna be big.
You know, there's only one team that has not reached the NFC Championship game since 1996,
and that's the Cowboys.
The Cowboys.
So every other NFC team but the Cowboys have played for the NFC Championship.
Yeah, the last time the Cowboys were in the NFC Championship game was 1995, and every NFC team has
So
played
they've got
it.
the longest drought. That is incredible to me.
I mean, it really is. And they've done a pretty good job drafting. I mean, 10 first-round picks in the last 15 years who have been selected to a Pro Bowl. I mean, that's tied with Detroit for the most over that span. So they've gotten their first-round guys right. I don't know what goes on with the Cowboys. It's weird because, last year they took a dip and went 7-10. But they had gone 12-5 in 3 consecutive seasons. They just can't do anything with it.
I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, the Cardinals. But no, Cardinals actually been to a Super Bowl.
That's right.
I'm
Tampa
like,
Bay's won 2
I
Super
know.
Bowls.
I'm not lying to you
I know,
on this stat.
but I know you're not, because I'm thinking of the worst teams in the NFC, and all of them have been there.
That gets us to our 4 downs today, brought to you by our friends at Bojangles. Brownie, tell us about Bojangles.
Hey, boys, y'all like a good cookie?
Love it.
Yeah,
you love a good cookie? Well, guess what our friends at Bojangles now have? And wait till you see these things when Scott shows you the video. It is going to make your mouth water. Bo Berry cookies. Get by your local Bojangles and try one today. Look at those things. Bo Berry cookies. It's bow time.
First down.
Oh, where are we going to start here? Shirley Temple would have been 97.
Wow.
Shirley Temple or the drink? Better career.
Oh, it's her. I don't know how many people order a Shirley Temple. I mean,
that's kids still do it all the time. I think it's the drink.
Do you now?
Yeah,
Can you give me the origin of the drink, by the way?
I was gonna go drink because it has lasted longer than her career.
And kids still order it.
She died.
Yeah. Well, the drink hasn't. So
her ice melted a long time ago.
She never lived. They don't have the drink.
I think the drink. I'm gonna try to guess. This is Jim or not. You tell me if I'm close.
I've got it right here.
The origin of the drink came because she was a child star. She would go to these parties, Hollywood parties, and they would give her a drink without alcohol. It was a Shirley Temple.
And they would have given her whatever she wanted back in the day. You think Hollywood's worried about age?
The cocktail may have been invented by bartender at Jason's restaurant in West Hollywood, California, to serve then child actress Shirley Temple. However, other claims to its origin have been made, and Shirley Temple herself, not a fan of the drink. From an NPR interview in 1986, she said she's not a fan. I hate them. They're too sweet. And in 1988, she filed a lawsuit to prevent the sale of a bottled soda version using her name.
Yeah, well, I don't blame her there. What's in a Shirley Temple?
It's just Sprite and grenadine, right? Or 7-Up and grenadine?
Yeah, I think it's just Sprite.
I think it's Sprite.
Yeah, and the red grenadine pops off for all the kids. What did she? I think she got nominated for one Academy Award, but I don't really remember what she did.
I'll have to go to her page. I am on her drink
but I'm
page.
going with
I just remember
I'm going with the drink. There it is. That looks very refreshing, right?
The good ship. That's the only thing I know she ever did. Did she do any more than sing that one song?
Something about animal crackers in soup. I remember that off of an infomercial.
Oh, I think the drink crushed her.
We were starving for entertainment back then, weren't we? I mean, they would take anything if Shirley Temple made a big career. I did not realize she served that much as a public servant either. She was an ambassador to Ghana. She was an ambassador to Czechoslovakia under George H.W. Bush. Did you guys remember that?
No.
We were alive for that.
No. I'm still going to go drink.
Imagine if child actors did that today. Like if Sabrina Carpenter or somebody just started.
She's making too much money, my friend.
Being a foreign ambassador.
Yeah, I'll be the ambassador to Switzerland.
It's what Dustin Diamond should have done instead of drugs and adult.
That's unfortunate.
Adult films.
Yeah.
Second down.
George Lopez, 64 years old today. Better career, George Lopez or George Brett, the last to hit 390?
I'm going to go George Brett.
I'm going to go George Brett as well.
Doesn't George Lopez, isn't he accused of stealing jokes?
No.
You're thinking of Carlos Mencia.
Yeah, Carlos Mencia.
Why would I confuse this?
Because you're the one intern that
The
didn't
old
walk
white
up.
guy.
You're the one intern that didn't walk up to Carlos Mencia and ask him about stealing jokes.
Yeah, we had an intern that basically started the conversation. Carlos Mencia is standing in our office waiting to go on the show, a little early for his interview, so we hadn't started the show yet. Intern walks up with a cup of coffee and goes, "You're Carlos Mencia." I mean, like, come on, man.
And then talk to him about stealing jokes.
Wow. So I bet he was
Very
in a
awkward.
good mood for that interview.
No.
Was this when were we doing a show?
Yeah. You had not
Do
come
I
back
remember
yet.
the intern?
No, maybe. I'm not going to. I'll tell you who it is.
But it was, where we had the office. It was that office right across the street. I was sitting in there, and when the intern left, he literally said, "Keep that guy away from me."
Oh, Mencia said that?
Yeah.
I think
he was tremendously nice guy. Keep that guy away from me.
Yeah. I have never found George Lopez particularly funny.
I haven't either, but George Lopez made a lot of money.
He's carved out a good career. It seems like he does the same television show over and over and over again. I'm a Hispanic guy with a big Hispanic family, and we tell a lot of jokes about Hispanics having a big family, and it seems to work. I mean, I'll give him credit for that.
That's the entirety of his stand-up as well.
Yeah.
But the sitcom's a lot better.
Oh, okay. I've never really watched it. I'm just going.
By the way, I told him, I was like, I don't like him either.
I believe you told him that.
We both stay away from him. It'd be fine with me.
My knowledge of his sitcom is whenever the NFL games are on the channel that he's on, and I see the previews, and I'm like, that seems like the same jokes I saw last time.
Yeah, I'm going to go George Brett.
I'll go George Brett as well.
Super nice guy when we had him on the show.
Me too.
Third down.
Was he drinking was it a margarita and had a dip at the same time?
Oh, George Brett?
Yeah. That's exactly what he was doing.
And a lipper and a margarita.
Yeah. And in fact, is wearing one of our headsets and starts to answer one of Lance's questions, lifts the headset, leans over the wall, spits the dip, and then puts
what
the
we
headset
call a
in.
professional.
I mean, he was a fantastic interview.
John Cena, 48 years old, just won his 17th world championship.
7th, I thought, but is it 17?
17 sounds like a lot.
17.
Yeah.
Wow.
John Cena or John Travolta? Better career. I'm so out of the wrestling game. I just don't know anything about it. But I did see where over the weekend in Vegas he won his 17th world championship.
I saw that as well. I actually now, because of the poker club that I've gone to more the last 14 weeks than I ever have in my life, on Monday nights they have the Monday Night Raw. Is that the one that's on Netflix? It's on playing on the big screens during that. So I, find myself when I'm out of a hand watching it. So I know a little bit more about it than I ever have. Women wrestle a lot more than I thought they did in those things.
I believe that's become more popular.
Yeah.
Is the ladies.
Yeah, and the fat balding guy with a lot of makeup on who's a manager gets beat up every week.
Is that the
Somebody
one?
throws him down every week.
Huh?
Paul Heyman?
Yeah, is that the one that he said a bunch of stuff on McAfee's show? Like McAfee had him as a guest, like ESPN.
I think so.
Yeah, no, that's who it is. Yeah, ESPN. He said a bunch of stuff you can't, or you used to couldn't say on cable. I guess you can get away with anything now,
but it was.
They just let it roll.
They just let.
Was that the our version of Charles Barkley when he came in?
Dropped 4 F-bombs in the first 30 seconds.
Yeah.
There was nothing they could do. I mean, it was just one thing after another. There was nothing ESPN could do.
So my answer is going to be.
I'll go John Cena.
I'm going to go Travolta just because of
Travolta.
so freaking long from the 70s, 80s, 90s. Still doing stuff now. Stuff's not great.
I think Travolta's a better actor, but he keeps putting out bad movies. But John Cena, it's hard to hate him because he'll be in these sort of feel-good roles in movies.
Well, I think
He'll be in
Travolta-
action movies,
Yeah.
and he also has completed more Make-A-Wish, granted more Make-A-Wish requests than any other person.
No,
Way to pull on the heartstrings.
Yeah, I mean, I can't believe y'all went Travolta.
Just Saturday Night Fever and Urban Cowboy, I think, wins it for John Travolta, and he's done a lot more than that.
Oh yeah, but I heard when he was here filming, I think he was living out at Shoal Creek, that he was like one of the nicest guys. And you think about like the tragedies he's endured. Not that this makes it a better career, but he lost his son, he's lost his wife. He's been through a lot.
I've said it many times. He lived on the 9th fairway or near the 9th green at Shoal Creek when he was filming that movie here. And you talk to a person at Shoal Creek, the staff there were like, he was the nicest guy in the world. They all obviously recognized him.
Maybe he needs to be because nobody's going to see these movies,
I don't
right?
know, but that always impacted me about him because I never really cared for John Travolta one way or the other. But when I heard how nice he was to people out there.
Yeah, I would go Travolta.
Yeah, you picked John Cena.
I did. Well, I think John Cena's had a better career. I can't be, Jim, I cannot be, I can't be swayed by the people I just like.
Fourth down.
John Cena might be close to the Mount Rushmore of wrestling. Close. I'm not saying he's on it. He might be close, though.
Well, I think he's got
so,
17
success
championships.
outside of wrestling as well.
Okay, well, The Rock has a lot of success outside of wrestling. He may be on the Mount Rushmore, yeah.
Okay, William Shakespeare would have been 461 years old.
You think
today.
he'd still be writing?
He'd be doing everything.
At 461?
Yeah. Man of many talents. Shakespeare, ultimately better career, him or the combination of Serena and Venus Williams?
Well, again, I mean, Tyler's already laughing. I am inclined to go with sports people in these things.
I'm giving you a combo
because
here.
I am an uneducated dummy from Calhoun County. But we still talk. It was Shakespeare. Will be how old today?
461.
In 461 years, nobody will know who Serena and Venus Williams are.
Well, will tennis still be around? They will if tennis is still around.
We'll be playing with a light orb, though.
Yeah,
it will not be a ball. It'll be just a light orb. A ball of energy would be hitting back and forth with electrode paddles.
I mean, per sport, is Serena not maybe the most successful in any sport for an individual, even over Tigers?
Yeah, she's the most successful female athlete ever.
I mean, I would go Billy Shakespeare as well.
Yeah, I'm going to go William Shakespeare as well. He'd be a rapper today.
Billy Shakes would be? Is that what he'd call himself, Billy Shakes?
He'd be spitting lyrics since the 90s.
Spitting bars?
He would have done everything by now. Killed a couple of men.
I mean, again, we'll talk about, I'm not a particular fan of his work. I don't read it a lot. Shakespeare, but we'll talk about it forever.
I mean, is Snoop Dogg the modern Shakespeare? We're watching him on the set right now of First Take.
I would say, now follow me here, that I'm going to put it at 12%. 12% of all movies made in the United States.
Oh, wow.
Somehow are connected in a vein storyline to a Shakespeare play.
Well, I mean, I disagree with that.
You're just talking about like the plot somehow is basically ripped off from some of Shakespeare's works.
Yeah, but I mean, every film is man versus man, man versus woman, man versus nature. I mean, they all ultimately only have
You've only got so many conflicts.
Yeah, you only have so many conflicts that a movie could have.
But like Cruel Intentions, I think goes straight back to a Shakespeare
Oh,
play.
yeah.
10 Things I Hate About You is a modern remake of Taming of the Shrew.
Yeah.
Romeo and Juliet was a modern remake of Romeo and Juliet.
And Hamlet, the worst movie I've ever seen, worse than Lincoln, was that Denzel Washington. I watched 15 minutes of that and completely turned it off. I mean, he's just walking around in a black and white desert.
Would you have made it to 20 minutes if it would have been in color?
Yeah, in color, I would have given it 5 more minutes, yes. Black and white was bad enough, but then he's just walking around in the desert not saying anything.
Okay,
I'm like,
again, you gave the remake of Hamlet from the Coen brothers a shot. You still have not given Jurassic Park.
Correct, and Die Hard. Yes.
That is 4 Downs today, brought to you by our friends at Bojangles.
Don't forget those brand new Bojangles cookies. Get them at your for a limited time. The Bowberry cookies at your nearest Bojangles. It's Bow time. Carson says Succession is basically King Lear.
That's right. That's right. Another great example there. Past the top of the hour here, the show being brought to you today as well, Brownie, by our friends at the Golfist.
That's right. You can go enjoy Birmingham's best indoor golf simulators. I always say this about the Golfist, and I am not over-exaggerating this. It is 100% true. You watch a tournament on TV over the weekend, you can go play that same course at the Golfist. You bring your own food, you bring your own beverage, you bring your own alcohol, and you have a great time at Birmingham's only multi-location indoor golf simulator. It is fun. It's a great social event. You just hang with the buddies. They've got the game zone in the bays, so you don't have to miss any of the night's sports activity or day's sports activity. You can enjoy that while you play on the golf simulators. Just enjoy a great time. And listen, why have that boring meeting in the office? Do some team building while you're at it. Get out of the office. Get in the Golfist. In Vestavia, in Trussville, and on Highway 280, you'll find them. The Golfist. You can book a bay and see more at thegolfist.com. Thegolfist.com.
Follow The Next Round on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Next Round Live.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
Your representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Hey, you. Days warming up. Looking like spring. And at New Balance Birmingham, we've got the thing. What pops and what's fresh? Check the selects. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, we got now.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service.
The biggest and baddest track in NASCAR, Talladega Superspeedway is ready to put on another amazing show in April. If you've never been to this track, you've got to come check it out. 2.5 miles of nothing but pure speed and incredible action at every turn. Don't miss the Jack Links 500 NASCAR weekend at Talladega Superspeedway. It's April 25th through the 27th, and you can get your tickets right now at TalladegaSuperspeedway.com. That's TalladegaSuperspeedway.com.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
The road to the Indy 500 runs through Birmingham, May 2nd through the 4th. The fastest IndyCar drivers in the world, O'Ward, Dixon, and Newgarden will put their skills to the test with one goal in mind: victory. Witness Miss America Abby Stockard give the most iconic command in all of racing as the Grand Marshal. May starts here. The Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix, powered by AmFirst. Tickets are selling fast. Get yours today.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemphill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemphill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemphill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemphill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between 2 warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
Your representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Okay, this hour brought to you by Champies. I'm about to tell you about Champies. Before that, though, Porsche, if you'll give me a tight shot real quick. Guys, I need you to pull your dry erase board out again.
Okay, I got to erase.
And give me something like this, LT. I need a side of popularity and a side of unpopularity, 5 numbers in the middle. And I'm going to ask you in just a second, by public perception, in your opinion, 5 popular college football brands right now and the 5 least popular college football brands.
Now, what do you mean by?
However you want to define it.
Yeah, like I'm just wondering if least popular is like most hated, which makes very successful. Like,
yeah, that's my point. So
so
popular, unpopular. It's really the popular side that's going to be hard, and I think surprising. Champy's Chicken I got a point I'm making off of all this. Champy's Chicken brings you this hour of the show. Our friends at Champy's, right there on Highway 119 in Alabaster, are a tremendously wonderful run business for over a decade at that one location. You'll see Champy's all over the Tennessee Valley area, up in Chattanooga, Huntsville. Stop by their wonderful food, but none's as good or as down home as our man Sterling and the crew right there on Highway 119 in Alabaster. That chicken's brined overnight, cooked to order. Sterling takes great pride in knowing that when you go to Champy's in Alabaster, you're getting a meal that's going to rise up to a certain level of awesomeness every time you walk through the door. And that's what you get right there. That chicken is so piping hot when it comes out because it's cooked to order. Hand-cut chicken fingers, the Mississippi Delta recipe tamales, and so much more. It's Champy's Chicken. Champy'sChicken.com, Highway 119 in Alabaster. There's a point I'm making here. And boy, it's harder for me to come up with the more popular ones than the least popular. But there is a brand that is on the popular side to me that I never thought I'd live to see on that side of the bracket there. And when you have your list, are you close?
Oh, no, I haven't started yet.
Okay. Oh, so you want us to go on and list.
Okay. So we do our own.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, we'll do something else. Think about it as we do something else.
Okay.
And we'll come back to it.
I can do it real quick.
I can do it if you just keep talking.
You keep talking for a second.
Well, I am. And we're talking about something else. Okay. I may need your input at some point.
Okay.
But I don't have mine either yet. We were going to do this on the fly, but I'm getting to one point I want to make here. Tyler, if I can get cut number 8. One thing that we've noticed as we've talked about NIL a lot today is that coaches, their tune about NIL and payments that players are asking for is starting to change a little bit. If you believe, and we don't know if it's true, but if you believe Dan Lanning, and it's cut 8, I'm looking for cut 8. Excuse me, cut 9. I apologize, cut 9. If you believe that Dan Lanning was the one that turned in the Nico Iamaleava family, then that's another indicator to this. But as we go to cut 9, this is another coach here that's now publicly saying things about being shook down for money that I think coaches are getting fed up and pushed back and starting to push back on. On Q's Sports Talk, Syracuse, they cover Syracuse football and basketball, Fran Brown on having to pay or being asked to pay $2 million for a wide receiver. Here's Fran Brown.
With all due respect to everybody in the country, to every wide receiver, to everybody that's doing all this stuff, like, if you're going to make $2 million at wide receiver, that's to blow a homie over at Ohio State. Ain't nobody else making that money. Giving no wide receiver no $2 million, man, in college. Nah. That ain't me. I ain't doing that. I can't do it. Unless they tell me that we get a chance to have Travis Hunter, he could come back to college and he could come here and play for us, then he going to get some of my check. But I ain't paying nobody $2,000 this year. Not to me. $2 million, whatever. I just say, yeah, we ain't giving nobody that.
$2 million for a wide receiver, other than the homie over at
one of the weirdest sound bites I've ever heard from a sitting head football coach.
Other than Jeremiah Smith at Ohio State, nobody's worth $2 million. But that's where these prices are going, and coaches are starting to be more. Remember, you didn't want. How many times did Nick Saban or anybody else they wanted to say what they really believed, but they would always throw it. I'm all for the players getting paid.
Right.
And then they would say what they'd think.
Right.
I'm all for the players, because they had to do that for recruiting.
That's right.
I'm all for the players getting paid.
But
I'm starting to get this feel from coaches that they've all starting to, it sounds like collusion, but they're all starting to get together a little bit and said, hey, if we don't start pushing back a little bit as a coaching fraternity, this is way out of hand. And we're starting to see coaches, athletic directors, and others sort of stand up a little bit. It's interesting to say that, but where do you think the budget is for college football right now. If you believe Ohio State paid $20 million,
I think it's 15 for.
It was It was closer to 30, I'm told.
But did you see what Signetti said?
What? Go ahead.
He said it's becoming a $40 million sport.
It's a $40 million budget for the top
tier. To win
tier.
it all. Now, that's to win it all. That's not just to compete. That's to win it all.
And some say Ohio State was closer to 30 than they were to 20 last year and what they paid for. But that college football is turned into a $20 to $40 million NIL budget a year to compete at the major college level.
I just don't think that is sustainable. I'm in favor of the guys making money, like the coaches said. Coach. But I don't think it's sustainable. And I still think, and I think this Nico thing shows you, we are still in a very inefficient market here. I mean, you got to remember, NIL is very, very young. And it's the equivalent of, when TV first switched over to HDTV, how much did a big HDTV cost?
Oh,
I told you.
Thousands.
Mine was... And it was a 50-inch Samsung. I still got it. I got it in the house. I got to get it out somehow.
Holy crap! Yeah. You still got your first HDTV in the house
from 2003, but it was $4,000.
Brandon, you remember that one that we bought that we moved from? I think it was Best Buy.
Yeah. Well, technically, we did not buy it, but I helped you move it.
I bought it. I bought it. I was married to Maggie at the time.
That's correct.
You helped me move it from there, and it barely fit into that thing, but it was so heavy.
Oh my gosh!
But that was over $1,000.
I couldn't. So that was 20 years ago. I couldn't afford a $4,000 TV now.
Yeah. You walk to Best Buy right now, $4,000 would buy you a room full of TVs.
Oh,
That's right. That's right.
Because it was an inefficient market then. We didn't know. They were having to get all the bugs out. They weren't selling a ton of them. Yeah, the market's very efficient now in high-definition TVs. That will happen in NIL. This will get sorted out. But right now, it's the Wild Wild West. Everybody's just spending everything they can spend. And the more these schools hit up their boosters. See, here's what will happen with Ohio State. Let's say they are a $40 million roster, Jim, and you're a big Ohio State booster. Ryan Day called you last year. I need $3 million out of you. All right? You paid $3 million. You did what? You won a national championship.
Felt good,
didn't it?
Yeah.
Hey, Jim, it's Coach Day again. This time it's a running back I need, and I need that $3 million again. Okay. And you win another national championship. At some point, Coach is going to keep calling for $3 million. We've won a lot of national championships.
Yeah, doesn't mean that much to me anymore.
Exactly.
We've won 6 for you, Coach.
And it's going to get harder and harder to get the $3 million. Or the other side of it is, random coach is going to call Booster, and he's going to ask for $3 million. Booster gives him $3 million, and they miss the playoffs. And the next year he calls for $3 million, and Booster's going to say, I gave you 3 last year, and you missed the playoffs. I'll give you 3 this year, but boy, you better make the playoffs. And he only goes 1 round deep, and then all of a sudden the Booster's like, I'm not getting my money's worth. That's how this thing will become more efficient, and I don't think we'll have $40 million rosters after that.
Matt Norlander covers college basketball. He did put out what he believes to be the budget in top-tier basketball. We've referenced $10 million often now. It's off the Norlander story last week. He says he has 10 programs that are operating at a $10 million NIL budget in basketball. Now, really, you only need 7, 8 players. He's got Arkansas, BYU, Duke, Indiana, Kentucky, Louisville, Michigan, North Carolina, St. John's, and Texas Tech.
Okay, you know who you didn't name right there? If I'm Bill Self, you're paying me the most money, we need to get this NIL under control, because if I don't have the best players, you can pay me as much as you want, I'm not going to win.
There is discussion after they got Aberdeen, Kentucky, the kid that roughly was going for $2 million as a 7-point per game for the national champion Florida Gators, that Kentucky is approaching $15 million on this year's roster.
That's what everybody's saying. They're going to spend the most.
$15 million at Kentucky.
But I feel like they're spending it on guys that were, and you were out the other day, Lance, and I talked about it. It feels like they're spending a lot of it on guys that were kind of role players.
Right. And they're in on Chad Baker-Mazara. That could push that number up even further.
And he's a starter. He's not a role player, but it felt like they went to a bunch of SEC teams and got one of their best role players. Give me your best 6 man.
Yeah. At the $8 million tier, just under $10 million, Norlander puts Kansas, who you mentioned, Texas, Tennessee, Auburn, UConn. Not exclusive, though. He says there are others there in that one. I don't know if Alabama falls into that category or not. I would imagine Alabama's just right around there, just below there. If they need to spend that money, they may be able to go to that. But that's sort of the top tier of the NIL budgets right now in basketball. And if you're naming top tier in football right now, you would put Ohio State first.
No doubt.
You would put Texas in there, right?
Yep.
Who would you put next after those two obvious
Well,
ones?
based on what Michigan paid Lance to get Underwood, I've got to think Michigan's pretty high up there.
Georgia's got to be up there.
Do you think Georgia
I don't
is?
know. You know, Kirby seems like he's thrifty in his spending, but
I just think he balances it better, and he never has any superstar names. So maybe they're not.
But they're using the portal more than they've ever used.
So you got to have money.
Unless you're just using it. That's a discount rack. You know, I get my best value when I go into a local PGA-like tour shop.
I think USC
you go
was
to the rack that is
USC
25, 50 to 75% off.
USC spending money, and they're prepared to spend more.
Yeah. So we know who the top tier is in basketball right now. I just wonder how many do you put in the top tier of football? And is Alabama one of them anymore? LSU's in there. I put LSU up there.
Yeah.
We know LSU's spending.
Definitely.
I wonder where Alabama is right now. We never know. We'll never know the true story. Where's Alabama? Where's Auburn in football?
I mean, again, they're spending $2 million reportedly on Jackson Arnold at quarterback.
Right.
How many quarterbacks are going to make more than $2 million this year?
I would put Auburn in the top half of the SEC on spending.
I would.
Now.
I think both Alabama and Auburn are there. Yeah. Now, I mean, how much can you get? How high do you have to be to get the national championship bang for the buck? I don't know. Again, this is so new. We don't know that yet.
Okay. Two great sponsors here. One of them are our friends at Lake Fest as we get ready for that great event coming up in just a few weeks now. Also, in just a few weeks, our 40 and 40 countdown.
What? That starts?
May 13th.
That's when we're starting the 40 and 40?
40 and 40 countdown.
Before you know it. Lake Fest, 15th annual Logan Martin Lake Fest and Boat Show presented by Am First is coming up May 9 through 11. Logan Martin Lake in Pell City, and it is totally free to the public. It is Bama's biggest in-water boat show, 80 boats and vehicles on display, lake lifestyle vendors, food trucks, beer garden, live music all weekend, tons of giveaways. Fireworks show Friday night honoring our great United States veterans, mermaids and mateys parade on Saturday, mimosas for mom on Sunday that are free, by the way, free. LoganMartinLakeFest.com for more info. And for the first time in the history of Lake Fest, AmFirst is offering a 0.5% off interest rates that could save you $100 a month and up to $12,000 over the life of the loan. LoganMartinLakeFest.com.
Hey, and if you're starting to thin out, you want to be preemptive, make sure that you maintain what you've got hair-wise. It doesn't matter if you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. All guys fear this. Our man, Dr. Beckenstein, he can help you out. Did the same for me over 3 years ago when I went to first see him. Since that moment, I've done that non-invasive treatment, including last night, 3 times a week, 30 minutes each time on the couch. My hair has more than doubled in thickness. Call today for more information. Schedule a consultation, 205-319-0316, T3hair.net for more information. T3's got that new test. It's easy, painless, affordable, takes 4 seconds to perform. It's going to show which medicines and compounds will specifically work for your hair loss. There are over 10 categories of agents they use, knowing they will work for you. They will custom compound these agents for you in pill or topical form. You pick and choose which agents you want. Men and women ordering Hims, other products online, don't even know if they work. Stop wasting your money. Critical time where you're losing hair on treatments that aren't working for you. Come see Dr. B and that great staff. Find out what will work. 205-319-0316. Tell them the next round sent you. For more information, T3hair.net.
Okay, so LT's got a list completed, and so does Brown. And I only really wrote one on one side of mine, the popularity one, because it's the point I want to make. Brown, give me your list.
This was
let's go for LT.
This was hard for me.
I went you first last time. LT, you give me yours first.
Okay, we want unpopular or popular?
Start with unpopular and give me the popular.
Unpopular, number 5, I've got Notre Dame.
Okay.
Number 4, working our way up, we've got Colorado.
Okay.
Number 3, Alabama still.
Okay.
Alabama fatigue still exists. Number 2, Georgia.
Okay.
It still exists. And number 1, Ohio State. Now, on the flip side, I've got some duplication. Popular, Texas, because they haven't won one yet, and Arch is coming into the fold. Oregon, people still love the uniforms, and they're not obnoxious enough to start hating. Ohio State, because of the success, you can be on both sides of this.
That's right.
Colorado, they're at 4 on both of these, because I think a lot of people do like Colorado and the brand with Deion. And then Notre Dame. I've got them still a hated team with some of the older people, but I think Marcus Freeman has become a likable guy.
It's wild how much crossover we've got here. So my most popular is actually Alabama. Now, hear me out.
Oh, wow. I need to hear you out.
I know people pulled against Alabama, but Alabama became a national brand among college-age kids. Like, their enrollment spiked, their applications spiked tremendously in the Saban era. It became a TikTok trend. They did a freaking what's the reality show on the whole sorority crap. I mean, Alabama became a brand almost bigger than the game itself during the Saban era. So that's why I would say popularity-wise, it's hard not to put them very high. Now, do fans hate them and pull against them? Yeah, because they've been successful. That's going to be true of any of these. Like Lance, I've got Notre Dame the second most popular and the fourth most hated. They are still a polarizing team, but I think there are more people that like them now than used to. I've got Texas third, Michigan fourth. Colorado, I think, is almost 50-50 on people that like them or hate them, so I'll put them at fifth.
Yeah.
Unlike Ohio State, Oregon, Miami is what I added in there. The whole Ohio State-Michigan thing is tough on me, but I think Ohio State's had more success than Michigan, so I think they're more hated than Michigan.
And see, you guys got to my point that I wanted to make, but unpopular, I went Alabama, Ohio State, Texas, Michigan, Georgia. But the popular, I put Notre Dame. And it's mind-boggling to me that I think Notre Dame has become such a popular brand. And I don't know if it was that way when I was a kid. Not when I was a kid. I knew they were hated in the South as a kid. I don't know if it was that way in the 50s and 60s, that Notre Dame was just nationally popular, and that's why they were what they became. But I think Notre Dame is a resurgence all of a sudden of their popularity. We talked about it last year, Marcus Freeman, during the run to the national championship, how he has made Notre Dame likable.
Yeah, you could digest them now.
And they're almost like this, they still go to class. They're still about academics. And the guy's recruiting his tail off all of a sudden. It's becoming sexy to be a five-star guy and go play at Notre Dame again.
And I think, him being the face of that program, I can't remember a likable coach in the history of Notre Dame.
I would agree completely with you.
Me too.
Yeah.
Like Ty Willingham wasn't likable or dislikable.
Yeah.
He was just Ty Willingham.
He was very indifferent. Weiss was not likable. Brian Kelly was not likable.
Bob Davie was just kind of Bob Davie.
Yeah.
Like, there's not a likable. There's some you don't dislike. But Marcus Freeman is the most likable by far.
And I think it's going to be difficult. I've said this, James Franklin's one of these guys that I believe, if he ever wins a national championship, would be so unlikable. And I think there's some people that are already there. I think Lincoln Riley would be very unlikable if he won a national championship. I don't know what Marcus Freeman could do to be unlikable. Like, I think even if he won one, now you would become unlikable just because people don't like successful people.
Yeah, but he seems like a guy that would handle it with great humility, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah.
Which we tend to like as Americans, I think.
I do think people fell in love with Arizona State and Indiana's story during the season.
Yeah, but that'll go away.
Oh, can I bring this up? If Fran Brown ever won a championship, he gonna be tough to like.
Based on that interview?
Yeah. He's got some, he's got that Georgia defensive pedigree. He came from Kirby's stock over there.
That's right.
He's got a little SEC pride in him up there at Syracuse.
Was Forrester taking a shot at my were you taking a shot at my reality show? Is that what you were talking about, Forrester?
Yeah, what was it? That sorority crap or something like that?
Crap. What was the name of it? It was the reality.
It was just called like Bama Rush.
Bama Rush. Wasn't it just one episode? It was like a movie, wasn't it?
I think it was Netflix. I never saw it.
I thought it was HBO.
I watched it. No, I thought it was Netflix.
Okay. Well, wasn't there like some sort of they started out and then somebody ratted them out or some crap like that? I don't know a whole lot of details on this.
Did you watch it?
Nope.
But you're
It is a documentary on Max.
Oh, it was on
See,
HBO.
I told you I was HBO. I know more than you'll think.
I'm so sold. I'm in.
And it gets into...
I remember watching it last summer. We did this on the show.
Yeah, but it was something...
I definitely didn't watch it.
I did not watch it.
Word got out that they were going to be negative. So all the sororities and fraternities were like, don't talk to them. So then their whole thing was kind of shot after that.
Yeah, that was about halfway through it.
Yeah, about halfway through, they're like, wait a minute, this is not making us look good. They're coming in trying to
The thing I learned is that it has spawned a whole generation of business people that now get paid a lot of money.
Can you believe that?
To go and consult your child on how to become a sorority girl.
Did you know that?
Yeah, that's what I heard from people who watched the documentary. And also there's apparently like a secret society, like an Illuminati for Bama sorority girls.
The machine.
That's the machine.
That's the machine.
For years.
Obviously, yes.
No, people knew about that.
Yeah.
That might have been new to that might have been new to the rest of the country. That's not new to people.
No, the machine used to have the flying banners that would go over the football games.
Yeah. Rumors of a kidnap of a candidate, right, for SGA office?
Well, I know for a fact that there was somebody running for president, and the house was burglarized, and there was some different stuff that was done.
How much do you have to pay one of these old boys to come in and consult you on being a sorority girl? Or is it a girl that does it, I assume, not an old boy?
I think it's a girl. I would tell you, I think...
I'm just imagining like you or Jim like going in to consult them.
Look, young lady.
I really think I'm going to guess a price here, but we can find out in the commercial break the answer to this. But I think it's
you know somebody?
Yeah, I think for a weekend, just maybe 2 meetings and maybe some change texts and emails over some social media. There picking out some dresses and outfits. Probably $750 to $1,000.
Oh, I would have thought more. That's
maybe.
That's actually much less than I would have thought.
So I just looked it up. There's a company called Hiking in Heels, which offers packages from $1,496 to $2,975, and then there's also premium packages that include on-call support, access to mentors, and full support through the recruitment process, which can cost several $1,000s.
Oh my!
$4,000
baffles me. Oh my! So this is sorority girls' version of a hitting coach.
Yeah, that's it. Well,
you probably could pay off like somebody with power inside of the sorority $4,000.
Yeah, exactly,
and guarantee to get in it.
Yeah.
It's insane.
That's the way to do it. Or you give me $1,000, I'll go make the deal with them. I mean,
I would think like a college student, if you hand them, less than $4,000, they'll be like, "Yeah, I got you."
Yeah,
no
you got my vote. Don't worry about that.
Yeah. Bama Rush, waking up the echoes. All right, when we come back, we've got trash for you today. The show being brought to you by a couple of our great sponsors, one of our wonderful friends at Hemp Hill. Tell us about Hemp Hill as we get ready for those warm temperatures coming back this weekend into the 80s.
Yeah, make the phone call that I have made twice over the last week, 205-229-2090. Whether you experience plumbing, heating, or cooling issues or home or business, they are ready to serve you. And make sure that HVAC unit ready to keep up with this changing weather. Right now, $1,000 off new HVAC units plus 0% financing when you call Adam, Chad, Andrew. The guys there, hard to stop a train, 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com.
Hey, and don't forget this weekend is the Jack Links 500 weekend at Talladega Superspeedway, TalladagaSuperspeedway.com to find your place at the Speedway for the biggest, baddest track in all of NASCAR. Witness the intensity of Talladega. White knuckle racing at every single turn. If you have lived any amount of time in the state of Alabama and you have never been to a race at Talladega, you're missing out. That's all I can tell you. Go see it for yourself. Jack Links 500 weekend this weekend. TalladagaSuperspeedway.com. TalladagaSuperspeedway.com. Trash is next.
Follow LT on Twitter at @TheLanceTaylor.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
Your representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Man, I love a good meal. I'm Jim Dunaway. A good meal is what you get with my friend Sterling at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster. We're talking great southern fried chicken, wonderful sides, hand-cut chicken fingers, po' boys, and those Mississippi Delta recipe tamales. You got a perfect menu for everybody. Champy's Chicken is perfect for watching the big game, or taking a meal to the lake house, down to the coast, or stay in the restaurant and dine in a great atmosphere. It's all made fresh to order right there on 119 in Alabaster, Champy's Chicken.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. I mean, where else are the scenic views as good as your view of the game? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Remember the name Way to Wellness if you're battling weight loss in your life. I'm Jim Dunaway from The Next Round. There was a time I was over 216 pounds until Way to Wellness helped me lose 45 pounds, and now for over 2 years, they've helped me keep that weight off. Here's their website, aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. That's a great name for a website because there's no cookie-cutter plan. Everything is designed specifically for you. No contract, no sign-up fees, and your first consultation is free at Way to Wellness.
Hey, you. Days warming up, looking like spring. And at New Balance Birmingham, we've got the thing. What pops and what's fresh? Check the selects. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, we got now.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemphill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemphill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemphill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemphill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
Birmingham's fastest party returns to Barber Motorsports Park May 2nd through 4th. Medical Properties Trust presents the Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix powered by AmFirst. Experience 3 days of high-speed action featuring the fastest drivers in the world from the IndyCar Series. Enjoy the Kids Zone, food trucks, beer garden, Ferris wheel, fan zone, and more. The Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix powered by AmFirst. Kids 15 and under get in free. Get your tickets now.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
We apologize for Dan Orlovsky. Flight issues prevented him from being with us today. Hopefully we catch up with him soon. He's traveling to Green Bay for the draft tomorrow night. We look forward to that right there in Lambeau and around Lambeau at Titletown outside of the field. We'll see what kind of atmosphere it is. It was fantastic last year in Detroit when Terrion Arnold was one of the Alabama players that got picked. Alabama has had a first-round draft pick in 16 straight NFL drafts. Taylor sent out a little montage yesterday of, multiple picks some years, but at least one from every draft in the last 16.
Do you think there's a better chance no Alabama players go in the first round or 3 go?
Better chance 3. There's no chance no go.
I would say
there's a chance. I don't think so.
Jod Campbell, that'd be a long fall. I mean, people are thinking he may even be a top 10 pick.
Yeah, but I think just based on, I don't think he was
position though, linebacker.
Oh, I know, but
and I don't think he was ever considered first round until he went to Indianapolis, and that's part of the process.
I would find it difficult to believe that both Booker and he fall out of the first
I
round.
agree. I'm just saying, I think that there might be a better chance, though, if all of these guys fell to early second round than all 3 going in the first round.
I could see 1 feels like the number.
Yeah, we were talking about the number. The betting number is, I think, actually 1.5. So you would take the.
Yeah, I was locked in on 2 until I've been looking at where I don't know why people aren't drafting Booker right now in the first round. I guess just interior offensive lineman. But
good for him. As Miami, actually, one of their big needs is guard. I mean, you find occasionally a team that just has to have a guard, and
what's surprising to me, Brown, is that there is a discussion on whether there'll be 3 or 4 wide receivers in the first round, and that's even if you count Travis Hunter as a wide receiver, which I think that's what he'll play mostly.
See, and I've got to figure this out when it comes to the props. I mean, Does he count as a 1-1 for defensive back and wide receiver?
You can't count him as both, I wouldn't think, but maybe they've baked that
but
into
I mean,
the
how
props.
do you have that prop out there with
Yeah.
X amount of receivers and X amount of defensive backs?
I would get some clarity on that, like you did with your eyesight years ago with our friends at Michelson.
Yeah, I did, Dunaway. I had the 20/200 vision. I was legally blind without the aid of contacts. After I went in, got the procedure done, only took 12 minutes for both eyes. 20/15 vision, better than 20/20. Dr. Mark Michelson, true pioneer in the industry, first to perform the LASIK procedure in the state of Alabama back in 1995. 205-969-8100 or michelsonlaservision.com.
I mean, next year, I can't even come out next year.
No, Jeremiah Smith or Ryan Williams can't come out.
No, they would both go in the top 10.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just coming across some of these notes for the draft. Do you guys know who has the longest active NFL streak without a playoff win?
In the National Football League
In the
right
National
now?
Football League.
I would guess the Cleveland Browns, but the Dolphins are in the mix.
I'm going to say, we just discussed the Bears had one in 2011.
Now, the longest playoff drought is the Jets. They have missed the postseason 14 consecutive years. That is the longest playoff drought in the NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball, and the NHL.
That is amazing.
So I got to go to 20.
That really is amazing, though.
Got to go to 2011 for the Bears. So if the Jets haven't even been to the playoffs since then, so they're at least there. So I got to go further back than that.
The last time this organization won a playoff game was 2000. You got to go back 25 years.
2000. And
I mean, that's the Dolphins.
It's the Dolphins.
It's the Dolphins.
No, I said they were in the mix. I thought it might be the Browns. No, the Dolphins.
I just didn't realize. Like, I knew the Super Bowl has evaded you guys, and I know the success of the Patriots, and they dominated the NFC East. I did not realize it had been 25 years since you won a postseason game. That's painful.
Last time we were in the AFC Championship game, Lance, was 1992. And the Dolphins were a pretty regular appearance in the AFC Championship game for the Shula years, right?
I don't get this, how the Panthers, Marlins, and Heat have all won championships. Back to the four major sports in big markets. And the Dolphins haven't won a playoff game in 25 years.
We've gotten coach wrong a lot, and we've gotten quarterback wrong a lot. I mean, that's a horrible combination.
You on this show, and I think the audience will back me up, you sort of talk down to me as a Buccaneer fan when you're talking NFL. I mean, we talk a lot.
That's just because of you.
You're a little pompous about being a Dolphin fan.
How would you be pompous about being a Dolphin
I don't know,
fan?
but
The one thing you can't be pompous about is being a Dolphin fan.
You somehow make it be like it's the Miami Dolphins, like it's
the
elite of the elite.
There's no way you can paint that.
It's a day of reckoning for me that you haven't won a playoff game since 2000.
I can't believe this is a surprise to you.
I think it's his golf arrogance that maybe rolls over a little bit. He really doesn't talk like in those terms when it comes to the Dolphins.
No wonder.
If anything,
no wonder your gift shop, pro shop, was a crap hole when we went by back then.
It was. They have built a new one, but yes, it was. I don't know what you want me to say. I mean, I don't feel like I ever talk about the Dolphins as if it's some exclusive country club to belong to. If anything, it's part of the self-deprecation that, we have on this show.
You should be in the NFC South, when.
Oh, I wish I was.
Where playoff bids are just given out every
Trust
year.
me, I would
They give out one every year.
I would trade with your Buccaneers or Scott's Falcons today and feel really good about
Isn't that
winning
right,
the division.
Forrester? In the NFC South, they give out a playoff bid every year, whether you earn it or not.
And more often than not, that's or not.
The Bucks are there, and occasionally
go 500 and you're in.
Okay, Daniel.
Occasionally get a win.
Daniel thinks he knows what you're saying. Okay. Do you want me to read what Daniel said and see if this matches what you're saying? Daniel said what Jim means is your level of suffering makes you a better fan.
Yes,
I think that does help. Now you can get to a misery point where maybe you're numb.
Yeah.
So is everyone saying that I have forgotten the bad years as a Buccaneer fan?
I don't know.
Did you watch those bad years though?
I did as much as I could with Jameis Winston and them.
See,
and before that, they were actually more fun when they were bad.
I'm not questioning your fanhood, but I remember going when Bernie Kosar, put up 55 on the Rams, and I'm watching a 13-inch black and white at PT's on a Sunday afternoon, and I'm not leaving until the game's over.
I mean, if you're asking me, is it a beautiful day and I can play 18 holes of golf with my friends or watch a bad Buccaneer team, I would choose 18 holes with my friends.
I got to question your fandom then.
Yeah.
See, I'm not going to question your fandom. I'm not going to do that. But I will say, and last year was just another year in the long line, watched every single Dolphins play last year. Did not miss a single play. and I don't mean to sound condescending, Royal Pain says that I have a weird way of sounding condescending even when I'm not being condescending.
Yeah.
So I don't know how to fix that. If y'all will tell me how to fix that, if y'all are smart enough to tell me how to fix that, I'll gladly fix it.
18 years, men at work.
But I watch every Dolphins play every year, and I've been asked many times.
So what do? You
why
pause
don't I
it, and then you get home from church? Because
I'll watch it if I'm going to miss the kickoff because of church. I watch it on the phone on the way home.
Okay.
And then pick it up in the house when I get home.
Oftentimes you go to lunch.
No, not in Dolphin season.
But can you go to early
Is that
service?
what we call it now, Dolphin season?
Yeah.
Can you go to early service?
At all.
NFL season.
Some of us call it football season.
I do to the early service, but then, my kid's involved in Sunday school and all that. So, I hate to say it's a pretty bad example as a parent to say we're not going to Sunday school this week because the Dolphins have the noon kick.
Yeah.
So, I just watch it on the phone. Sunday school's over at 11:30. I might miss on my normal TV, and I got the TV already on, ready to go when I get home. So all I got to do is, just walk in the door and it's good to go.
I'll tell you what's cool on YouTube TV. I don't know if it's on other services. Is last night I flicked on my hockey. I missed the first period of the Lightning. So when I got in, they were in the first period intermission, and they have a little either join live or catch up. You can hit the hot plays or whatever it's called, and it just takes you to 5 or 6 big moments that you've missed, getting you up to the live speed. I really enjoyed that.
I've seen that.
Seeing those quick goals.
Yeah. I've seen that on YouTube TV, like when you join a sporting event, it'll catch you up.
Live or catch up,
The key plays. It's like there are 25 key plays or whatever.
And it goes pretty cool. I like it.
It does. Yeah. I've done it before. I wouldn't, do it with the Miami game, but I've done it before.
Yeah.
I remember I paused. Jack had his best friend's birthday party, and I paused a Rams-Bills game, and I got there at the end of the first quarter. But I was so nervous that I would hit something to mess up the pause.
Ooh.
Rams ended up losing anyway. Tyrod Taylor started for the Bills that day.
At some point, my TV comes unpaused if it's long enough. So it'll either switch to a new channel or it'll start playing again.
Oh, I can't. With the dogs, it would be impossible now. They jump on that remote. Greg was out. You were doing your spot from Greg earlier, and he sent me, your dogs
Did you have the dogs on the roof?
He said they're definitely shouting profanities at me. Jeeves, I got home yesterday, and I think I've told this story before, but I'm not exaggerating. I pull in the driveway. Chili's at the front door looking through the glass waiting on me. Bullet is on the kitchen or the dining room table, had opened the blinds and is standing on the dining room table just waiting on me.
One day we're going to get a call that he didn't make it through the night, that something happened to him.
They ate me.
And the first 2 suspects are those dogs.
Yeah, they're going to walk in and one dog's holding a bloody knife, like looking at the other one, like, what are we doing?
We're going to have Hoover police doing paw prints.
I take them to run every day. I mean, they eat really good food.
Yeah.
I don't know why they would want something else in life.
One day it's going to be not good enough food. They're going to be like, what is this?
Filet mignon again.
Tired of this guy. Where is he this weekend? All right, let's before we get to trash, Forster's going to show us a former quarterback who took some snaps yesterday after I tell you our friends at Champy's world-famous fried chicken, Highway 119 in Alabaster. Sterling and the crew, man, so good down there. It's a great lunch destination. We've got visitors from the north or from out of town, but specifically the north. Take those damn Yankees to Highway 119 in Alabaster. Show them what Southern eating's all about.
Can you take me higher?
Chicken fingers. Brined overnight, cooked to order, 2 big breasts, fried chicken, great sides, Mississippi Delta recipe tamales, all the great food right there at Champy's Chicken, champyschicken.com. And a guy who retired way too soon, taking snaps yesterday. Andrew Luck, helping out Stanford Spring Drills. Look at the man.
Oh, he could start.
Well, he's got to. They don't have a coach, do they?
Yep. He could play. Yeah, they got Frank Wright.
Oh, that's right. They got an interim coach, yeah.
Calling plays there, and still looks the part. Has to push the glasses up, but
he was so good. He's going to be so forgotten.
Yep.
Andrew Luck?
Yep.
Yeah.
That program has fallen so far. I thought it was crazy that they got to be as good as they did with a guy like Andrew Luck.
Well, he really is. He killed Stanford football. Not his fault. He had to leave. But the Colts have never been the same.
Yep, Jim Harbaugh. Or Andrew Luck, both.
Yeah.
I guess Harbaugh didn't go to the Colts, but he did leave Stanford. Interesting. Let's do trash now. It is brought to you by our friends at Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Hit it, Tyler.
Congratulations, The Cure, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductees 2019. Are you as excited as I am?
By the sounds of it, no.
LT's Trash is presented by Bud Light.
Our buddy Zach sent me this one.
That's a multi-time contributor.
Yeah, he's sent a bunch. Walmart is locking up steaks in some locations to prevent people from stealing them. The store is also allegedly opting out of self-checkout in some locations and making everyone check out with real workers.
Oh, imagine that. Yeah. So they've determined, like, letting people determine how much they should pay for items is probably not a great idea.
Hey, and keep in mind that they factor in a certain comfort level of stuff they allow to be stolen every year.
Yeah, that's right.
So it has gotten out of that comfort zone.
That's right.
For them to do
this.
This.
Where it now makes more sense to employ people than just let people steal.
Yeah, but the one I shop at, they have the toothpaste locked up.
Wow,
some of the, I guess, more expensive toothpaste.
So that tells me that your generation has found some way to get high off of toothpaste. Is what that tells me.
I wouldn't be surprised if that's a thing.
Doritos were locked up.
I went to a place.
By the way, you've hit rock bottom if you're stealing steaks from Walmart.
I mean, that's tough, yeah.
But I went to a place the other day that I don't
up,
usually
too.
go to, but it was quick and convenient.
How was it?
And they used to be known as a place you would get your beef from people.
Okay.
And
how was it?
I was going to buy a steak.
Yeah.
And I went in there, and the prices for the I won't say worst cut of steak I've ever seen in my life, but the prices were unbelievably high. And then they were selling these New York strips that I promise you were paper thin like this, and still charging an arm and a leg. The meat prices. So I can see why people would be stealing those, why you have to lock them up.
I had multiple friends, because that was the grocery store of choice in Sachs, Alabama, that worked there growing up, and I promise you they would answer the phone. Thank you for calling store where you can beat our prices, but you can't beat our meat.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was when people would call stores.
So I guess we call him friend of the show, Joe Exotic, back in the news.
I saw this story, yeah.
He has married a man. I don't think that's surprising, right?
What are you looking at?
What is that? Is that
That is not the way they lock the meat. Sorry, Lance, but they don't lock the meat up like that, do they? Is that the?
I've seen it like that, and then I've also seen the big round security tags on there. But it looks like they
kidding?
They got
crazy.
it like in a fence.
That's $20 of ribeyes.
Well, and how much manpower does it take to put all this contraption on and take it off?
And by the way, I can cut that with a pair of cutters.
Well, you could now.
Well, are you bringing in bolt cutters to steal a steak?
Well, you're gonna have to
is
run
it
to the
connected
car.
to something?
I'm using Walmart's.
Hey, where do y'all keep the bolt cutters?
That's a good point.
That's right. It's in the same store.
Yeah, so I mean, you can get everything there. So Joe Exotic marrying a man, not a surprise there. On Monday, April 21st, Tiger King star, 62, whose real name Joseph Maldonado Passage, announced that he had tied the knot with Jorge Marquez. Shared a photo on X of himself and his new husband on Tuesday, April 22nd, with the passage, quote, "Never been more proud of someone." Maldonado's passage caption read, "Meet my husband, Jorge Flores Maldonado." Now, Maldonado Passage proudly revealed in October last year that he was set to marry Marquez after getting engaged while they were both incarcerated. He said, "Meet Jorge Marquez. He's 33. I don't know why. Is this a flex for him, I guess?
I guess you got a younger guy. Yeah.
So, I mean, that's not Belichick numbers, though, right? 62 to 33 is not 70-something to 28.
No, but who puts, like, the number in there like that? Like, Belichick wouldn't do that.
Are they both incarcerated?
Yeah. Oh,
is
yeah.
that... So I guess you can get married in jail? Like, I'm a genuine question. I had no idea.
I guess so. Maybe we can have him back on to ask.
Yeah.
How old is the Tiger King? I thought it was in this article. I thought I read it earlier, but I don't see it. I thought he was 60-something.
I was going to go 62.
You said 62 to start the story.
Oh, I did? Yeah, there you go. You're right. Yep.
That's why I was going to go 62. I just heard it. I was like, wow, I got a surprisingly great grasp of his age.
You wish you had met him long ago, like when he was 18?
Out of jail? How long is the Tiger King in for?
22 years.
Oh, wow. He's not getting out.
Well, he's asking Trump for a pardon, but he did get his sentence reduced.
To 21 years, I think.
Oh, wow. No, we'll knock a year off.
Okay, we'll give you a year.
They don't just let you out for a murder for hire plot.
Yeah.
Well, allegedly. They do take those seriously. Yeah.
And
allegedly.
other stuff.
Yeah, death do we part in this situation here.
Well, I'm telling you, man, if you didn't grab a pardon at the end of that last administration, your odds are poor because those were going out left and right at the end.
How about this one? New surveillance video shows suspect accused of stealing the keys for several luxury cars from a valet at a Miami Beach hotel.
Ooh,
now, the surveillance video shows suspect slithering across the ground on the valet key room of the Cité and stealing key fobs belonging to $325,000 Ferrari, Blues Rolls Royce, and a gray Mercedes G-Wagon.
Okay, this is video because I see the keys moving.
Oh, yeah, you're never going to get caught on camera.
He's
slithering.
so sneaky.
Yeah, never get caught on camera. Good idea, buddy. All right, now I'm going to stand up.
Yeah.
I couldn't reach the keys laying on my stomach.
He didn't think maybe I just walk in with my head down.
That's
maybe
right.
I just
put a
wear
mask on. Yeah, a million other things. Nope, I am going to crawl in.
Now, it's not the first time the hotel lost millions in a robbery. Last March, a group of thieves were caught on camera using trash bins to steal nearly $2 million worth in designer purses. While arrests have been made in the purse heist, authorities have been investigating the car robbery for nearly a year. Nobody in custody.
The exit is even better.
That's good.
Lance, do you see the exit? Watch it again. Yeah, watch the exit. Woo!
Wow. Okay, he must have scouted this knowing that inside is the up-top camera.
Yeah.
Outside, there's a camera that's going to catch his face at a certain level, so he has to be below that. I'm going to side with the criminal.
Okay,
here.
so they arrested 23-year-old this guy, Gregory Yurty. Miami Beach police show Yurty is the man seen right there on surveillance video. He appeared in court on Tuesday.
You're a detective. Tell me what stands out about this guy.
Well, he's wearing sliders with socks.
Yeah, socks and sliders, and that would be the first thing I'm walking around. Hey, anybody ever see anybody wearing socks with sliders?
Yeah. Anybody know anybody that's got no fashion sense?
Yeah, 23-year-old. What's his name again? I see him in socks and sliders all the time.
Oh, can you take me to his house real quick?
Authorities said once Yurty took the keys, he and others used a rented black Cadillac Escalade to cruise the parking garage before some exited the SUV and drove off in the other vehicles. Detectives say they tracked the rental vehicle's history, which ultimately led them to Yurty, who has several other alleged offenses dating back to last year.
Daniel is right in the chat room. He's acting like he thought there were those lasers like you see on movies. They have to crawl under them. And once he got in the key room, we're free.
Very Mission Impossible.
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't drop down off a wire in the ceiling.
Yeah, a movie y'all probably don't like. Sean Connery and Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Never saw it. I know what you're talking about, though.
Yeah, what is the name of that movie?
Crimson Tide?
No, because she's...
for Red October?
She's showing that ass, going in and out of the lasers. I remember seeing... it had one word...
Entrapment.
Entrapment, yeah.
So have you seen it?
Oh, yeah, I've seen it, yeah. And there is that scene where she's practicing getting through the lasers and wearing very tight-fitting clothes and... the prime of Catherine Zeta-Jones' life, the prime of her life.
That's a good prime.
So if you had Entrapment, Jurassic Park, you go Entrapment, right?
No, not necessarily. I didn't make it that choice. Like, Jennifer, do we want to watch Entrapment or Jurassic Park? But given, I don't know, give me a current movie. Not a current one. None of the current ones are any good. Lugan Bill said you way oversold. What did he say?
Sinners.
Sinners, yeah.
That's fine. I think he oversold Den of Thieves 2.
Okay. I'll let Lugan Bill know that you have released a diss track on Den of Thieves 2.
Okay, let's randomly say, what is out right now outside of Sinners?
Yeah, no, that's not going to work because there are no good movies that come out anymore.
That's not true.
I'd seen a good movie in a long time in a theater.
You haven't seen a movie.
So let me ask you this. If your daughters came in and they were like, hey, we want to watch Minecraft, Dad, would you say, hey, look, why don't we watch Jurassic Park as a family?
I would say y'all watch Minecraft upstairs. Me and Mom are going to go downstairs and watch Jurassic Park.
Okay.
Yeah.
So a Japanese man has been left heartbroken after his brand new Ferrari burnt to a crisp an hour after delivery. According to The Sun, the owner of the Ferrari 458 Spider, 33-year-old music producer named Honkin, had spent a decade saving up to buy the luxury car.
Look at that.
A full decade.
Unfortunately, he got to enjoy it only for a few minutes before its engine caught fire. In a post shared on the social media platform X, owner said his vehicle burnt down an hour after delivery. Quote, I think I'm the only person in Japan experiencing this kind of trouble. Now, the Ferrari 458 Spider cost around 43 million yen in Japan, or around 300,000 in U.S. dollars. Honkin had been driving the car in Tokyo when he noticed smoke coming out of the vehicle. It is believed the engine caught fire shortly after delivery. There were no reports of a crash leading to the fire. I mean, don't you, if you're Ferrari, make sure this doesn't really go public?
Yeah, I'd have probably replaced it as quick as I could. With an agreement.
I guess they're probably not going to have trouble selling their cars anyway.
That's a good point.
Yeah. Is there a chance, A, it's either a knockoff?
A Ferrari?
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute.
Or B, something happened in transport that caused it to happen.
Good. It's not their fault.
I guarantee you, sadness is probably he was going to get insurance
Well, he said
that day, but I was going one test drive.
Yeah.
And then
I noticed the smoke, got out of the Ferrari, however, could not save the car. It burnt to ashes within 20 minutes. Luckily, the owner did not have any injuries, although he was left shaken up.
I mean, if you see flames coming out from under your hood, do you open the hood, try to put it out, or do you just back away? And
I think I'm just going to back away.
I'm backing away.
Yeah. I'll get a new car.
I've never had a car I love. Ever.
Yeah, I'm with you. A car's a car to me. I don't really get emotionally attached to vehicles.
Yeah, I love my truck, but I would take the insurance money and buy a new one.
That's right. The car I'm in right now can burn to a crisp. I'll have a new one in a few days, thanks to insurance.
Here is the latest example of...
Problem is, Bo wouldn't be ready to give me a deal.
That's a good point.
Of what studios are hoping is the next Barbie. Story Kitchen and Toys R Us Studios, the entertainment production arm of the global toy brand, have teamed up to develop a live-action Toys R Us movie.
Yeah. Great use of the backdrop there, by the way. Yeah. From Studio, the sitcom. This could be good. I mean, this could be. I mean, if done right, this is basically Toy Story.
I mean, that's one way to go about it, and then I guess the other way is like you do it about the giraffe mascot.
Well, Jeffrey has to be the main character. He is the mascot.
He's got to be in it in some way.
They go on to say, quote, as 80s kids who consider Toys R Us one of the most magical places on earth, we're honored to partner to create a film that will capture the spirit and adventure, creativity, and nostalgia that Toys R Us represents. Now, the film, which is in early development, aims to capture the childhood wonder in a modern, fast-paced adventure that taps into Toys R Us's brand's relevance across its more than 70 years in the toy industry. They go on to say it's going to be a journey as boundless as play itself. The project has been described as being in the vein of The Night at the Museum, Back to the Future, or Big, plus other successful toy-inspired narratives like Jumanji and Barbie.
By the way, Brown, upper right-hand corner, you don't want to leave the TV on with her if you're hanging out with her.
Okay.
She gets distracted easy.
Oh, does she now? Yeah.
That one, the one with the glasses, always plays the midlife tramp.
Oh, she's typecast?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Former Saturday Night Live,
Step
right?
Brothers
Yeah.
as Adam Scott's wife.
Yeah, she was in, what is it, Bad Christmas Moms or Bad Moms or something.
Yeah.
What's her name?
I don't know.
Former Saturday Night Live girl, right?
I don't know.
No?
Looks like our former market manager, Gigi South, a little bit.
You are spot on with that.
I thought that when I first saw her, 100%.
That is so good. What's her name?
Catherine Hahn.
Catherine Hahn.
Catherine Hahn.
God, Lance,
I don't know if Catherine Hahn hits the heaters like Gigi used to.
Wow. Yeah. That's all I could see now, Lance.
Yeah.
She was a good boss to work for.
She
really was.
Super sweet.
She's the one that got us together.
Yeah,
she was the market manager at Citadel then when we joined forces.
Casino Superior.
That's right.
All right, that is Trash Today, brought to you by our friends at Bud Light. The show also brought to you by our wonderful friends at New York Butcher Shop. Don't worry about these paper-thin pieces cut of meat they're trying to pass off at an enormous price.
You threw me under the bus with Olivia Munn. I'm not going to do it with Jim and our friends at New York Butcher Shop. You could have gone there and picked up great steaks.
Oh, I could, but I was on my way home. It was quick. I was going to buy something like that, and I was like, these people are known for their beef.
You learned a lesson there, though, didn't you?
I went in there, and they did, A, no selection, and B, I ended up not buying anything, by the way. That's how bad it was.
Well,
I walked into a grocery store and walked out of the grocery store with nothing.
Shop, like, you can pick up, like, delicious chili, like, pre-made things ready just to throw in the oven. They do it fresh every single day. Of course, best steaks out there, ribs, chicken, all of those fresh meats cut to order right there in front of you. Fantastic selection of fine wines and desserts as well. 2 locations, the original, Cabo Heights, newest location, Highway 119 in Greystone. Get in, see Jim and those great guys. Tell them the next round sent you. Rare quality, well-done service. It is the New York Butcher Shop.
All right, one of those shows where I know we probably talk too much NIL, and but, it's the storylines of the day.
That's all right. We'll do better tomorrow.
LSU, that's an aggressive pick by you. Furthest West national championship in the next 10 seasons.
I mean, that was my takeaway from the show. Lance does not think there'll be a national champion west of the Mississippi in the next decade.
Well, you guys can only come up with 3 possibilities.
I only went to Texas. I thought I was going to be the most aggressive one. I really thought you'd go USC, and I figured you'd go Oregon.
Yeah.
Well, you just tell me how many championships Sarkisian and Lanning have won.
Together combined? Do I need to combine that number?
Looks like our logo on the big wall over there.
That's
it's
a big old
zero. All right, that's the show today. We are back with you tomorrow, NFL Draft Day tomorrow, and hopefully some more clarity when it comes to our countdown to college football. And again, if you want to be a voter, and we have a few spots left, if you want to be a voter in our 40 and 40 countdown, we'll be asking for your vote soon. I'm trying to wait until the portal is sort of done swirling a little bit. But if you'd like to be a voter in the 40 and 40 countdown, my DMs are open. Hit me up with a DM. Include your email address. That'd help me out a lot. We'll do it via email. Thanks for being with us. Until next time, God bless you and God bless America.